morning, everyone. It's great to have you here with us. I know it's very early in many places. It is a Saturday morning. Nonetheless, we are here. We've got 6 curling teams with us, and we're ready to get underway with the 8 o'clock draw, the first draw in the C event. Losers go home. Winners play on. Must win 3 games out in order to get into the championship round. Our feature match this morning is Team Appelman playing against Team Hodgson. Before we take you to the other events, I'm really excited this morning. We told you yesterday we had a special commentator coming in for the entire day. It's Scott Moncoeur. He played out of Canmore for a number of years. He's now living in Cochrane and playing at the Calgary Club. He plays against a number of these teams regularly, so we're excited to hear his comments and thoughts. And probably, like we heard with Mike, we'll find out how many times he's beat them.
Thanks for having me, Steve. I'm looking forward to the day, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a great matchup here. I know we're probably not at the point where we're going to introduce them yet, but Team Appelman, one of the top teams in the province year after year, against Team Hodgson from the Airdrie Curling Club. So I think we're in for a treat.
I think so too, and no surprise, Team Cooey coming out in the A flight. Appelman probably not excited to have lost the first 2 games to get to C, but this is a strong field, and I think whoever comes out of C is going to be just as likely to win this event as whoever comes out of B and A. You're going to have 4 quality teams in that championship, and whoever's learned the ice and brings the game and is the momentum from the weekend, I think is going to win this.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. There's a number of curlers out here that have participated in Briers and World Championships, Ted Appelman being one of them, Terry Meek, who's out here this morning as well, also at that level. So, any one of these teams could get through, get to the playoff round, and make some noise.
Speaking of Terry Meek, we're going to find that over on sheet 1 this morning, the 8 a.m. draw has Manson against Meek. As we said, loser out, winner will carry on, and the winner will play the winner of the Libas Jakes game. That's a rematch from Airdrie. They played as well in Airdrie. Again, 2 very good young teams, both very good quality players that are getting their season underway. So we expect a real good game there. And the 2 winners of that event will go on. And, of course, Appelman and Hodgson, they will await the loser of the B event today at 12 o'clock. That would be the Van Amsterdam Hardy game. That'll drop down and play them. So a lot of great curling still to go today, but right now we're going to focus. We're almost ready to get underway with Team Appelman and Team Hodgson. Where are they from, Scott?
Well, Team Appelman plays out of the Avonare Curling Club up near Edmonton, and Team Hodgson curls out of the Airdrie Curling Club just north of Calgary.
Wonderful. And if you do happen to see in the first end rocks going both ways, what we've done here at the Curling Club is our odd ends play from the home end away, and our even ends play from the away end to home. It just helps with the social distancing, keeping people apart. You might also notice, if it's the first time joining us, that we don't have 4-foot lines. We actually have 5-foot lines, and that was an opportunity for us to provide a visual reminder for health and safety to keep people separated apart. Still can be used in shot making, but it also helps in that aspect, which is, of course, the most important aspect. We want curling to happen in this province, and we want to make sure that we do whatever we can to support these athletes and give them those indicators and constant reminders.
Yeah, really important to keep everyone safe this year so that we can, not only keep everyone healthy, but keep the curling season going all the way to the end and not have to cut it short.
So who do we have on these teams? We always get to know the skips. We'll know Hodgson. He'll be in the house throwing the last rocks. The team's named after him. Of course, Ted Appelman, as you said, he got to go with Cooey to the World Championship. He's was runner-up in the playdowns, and he's had some good runs there. But who are the other people on the teams?
Yeah, so on Team Hodgson, like you said, Andrew Hodgson's going to skip. Jared Polinowick is throwing third. Blake Johnson at second, and Tyler Gritton at lead. And on Team Appelman, you mentioned Ted Appelman, skip, won the Brier with Team Cooey, runner-up at World Championships. Nathan Connolly is his third. Ted's brother Tom Appelman at second. And Kevin Tim throws lead rocks, and we just saw him get the game underway.
So all week and weekend, I should say, as we get to Saturday, we've seen about 15 to 15-2 on the draws.
Good,
Sorry,
Kev.
Kev.
There you go, 16-2 just out front. Seems pretty consistent. A lot of times when I was playing when I was younger, it would be 11 to start, and we'd wear that down 2 ends and might get it to 13 or so. So a great job done by our ice makers here to get that speed and get it right off the hopper. That's what players want.
A little keener.
Yeah, really important. And
Side's a little
the ice
keener.
makers out here have been really lucky, having hosted the Qualico mixed doubles the last few years. They've had Darren Molding come down and help with the ice and teach them a few tips and tricks, and I think that's helped them keep this consistent and keep it fast.
Yep. Yeah, and we're getting about 5 feet, even
Line's
more.
good.
Sorry,
Top
they're
eight.
for center line. They're holding
Top
it out
eight's
almost
good.
in the middle of the 12-foot
Side's
there,
pretty
Scott.
keen,
So that's
yeah.
good
Top
swing.
four.
Means that you
Side's
really
fine.
can't hide behind anything. With a really good weight shot, you can get at anything, but it's got to be
Line's really good,
precise.
yep.
Yeah, and I think we'll see how it's curling throughout the game, but my guess is that's why that first center guard was pretty tight, just given how much curl there is. They've got to bring those guards a little bit tighter, risk the run backs, but if they leave it too high, then Hack and Board Wade will be able to get at shot rocks.
We should let you know that we do have our players mic'd up. We've got Ted Appelman and Nathan Connolly for Team Appelman, and we've got Andrew Hodgson and Jared Palniak mic'd up for Team Hodgson.
There
So
more.
every once in a while, we'll pause and let
let you know,
them
maybe
tell us
bump
what's
it.
going on and get their insights on the game. But in between that, of course, Scott, you and I will keep the banter
Up in
going.
the yellow.
Okay. Line's really good.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are pretty comfortable with the weight here. Like I said, that first guard was tight to the rings, and Team Hodgson came right around it. Looks like that was probably a freeze, but tapped it out in the open, which no harm there. That's going to help
just
Team
board?
Appelman later in the end.
It looks like both teams have decided they're going to come out firing. Yeah, they're not going to try and just fill around the first end or so and get a feel. They're going to come out firing. Meanwhile, over on sheet 2, it looks like they're going to come out and get to know each other a little bit. There's a hitting started right away.
Yeah, I think these teams on our sheet are just helping out the commentators by getting a little action going early, but also in all seriousness, I'm not surprised to see this on our
10.
sheet. Like you said,
Middle.
loser's out.
10.
It's the long road here, so there's no risk in being really aggressive and trying to win this game.
It's fine.
Well, great throw there. That's that control zone we see on top of the button and up to 3 feet out in front. And certainly no one's in any trouble yet. The angles are starting to build up, and looks like Ted's going to try and push this
Go a
through
little
and tuck it a little bit underneath if he can get that roll.
Yeah, I believe Team Hodgson won the hammer, so sitting 2 will be important for Appelman to not let this end get away from them too early.
a little
So just
quiet.
keep it a little cleaner here now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Weight's good. A little quiet, yeah.
This looks pretty good. Probably enough to get it through, and a little flip under, and it looks like it is biting the top 12. So a nice shot by Team Appelman.
Yeah, just a reminder too, you might have noted that I'm sure a normal year, the skip would have been sweeping to make sure that one goes through the back, but of course, you're not allowed to sweep your opponent's rocks, even behind the tee line this year with COVID, just trying to keep things fair and also keep it so
14-8.
that only the one team's on the ice at any time. You will notice in this game versus in your league games, we're not cohorting the event. It's teams that are cohorted. So the teams are allowed to sweep 2 players because they are a cohort who spend all this time together, which makes sense. These are competitive teams playing all
Line's
along.
really
But
nice.
most clubs, they
got
aren't doing the
room,
cohort
good swing.
model, and
Weight's good.
so they'll have just the one sweeper because that's where you do get within 6 feet of each other.
Yeah, and we have a number of watchers early in the morning, so maybe some of them are out in Ontario where it's a little more reasonable time, but they would have seen the Stu Cells events recently, and that they had the one sweeper. So might be wondering why it's a little bit different, but you just cleared that up for them. So
Well, great throw there, bearing that one around, top 4.
Same weight. A little more weight.
another opportunity for Team Appelman to hit and maybe roll a little under. They won't want to go all the way under because they'll need to be able to access that yellow rock at some point, but both teams
Little
seem
better
to be
weight.
pretty sharp right now, and tough to tell which way this end's going to go. This looks pretty good. Looks like they are going to go for an aggressive roll here.
Come down a lot.
Another pick.
Great shot.
I think it's just fresh there.
So You heard them talking about the ice being fresh, so that might have caught some fresh pebble and curled a little bit more than they expected there. And pretty common early in a game before they wear down all the paths throughout the ice.
Yeah, and you'll notice during warm-up, and why warm-up's important is they try to throw these main paths and get some feel for it, but also wear that down. And then again, as the ends go on, they'll obviously wear them down more and get more familiar with them. And the hope is that there's enough pebble and work done that it lasts for the full game, but not overly done that it affects it and slows down the rocks. It's a very precise job those ice makers do, and a lot of times it's not as common knowledge to how difficult this is.
Yeah, that's a great point. And as you can see, they've really just played 2 paths here so far in the first end. So those paths are going to wear down a little bit more quickly. And like you said, really important for the ice makers to keep those strong throughout the game.
And look at this one come right off that line, and it's going hard.
Looks like maybe been a little light for the call as well, but to your point, that might have gotten a little bit outside the paths that have been worn down and caught some of that fresh pebble and grabbed a bit.
Well, here's a chance for Appelman to come down, probably just come off about half rock and roll in under, and they'll have possibly sitting 2 well buried back there. So that yellow rock is available to slash in, of course. So you know, but they got to play it tight to that guard for Hodgson as a response. But let's see how this one ends up.
Clean.
Looks like it's got to curl a bit, but we have seen the others finish in this spot.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Oh, absolutely fantastic shot there, and with all those guards that you referenced, it's advantage Appelman now at this point in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, but there's that rock that we're looking at having slashed in. At least Andrew's considering that. Could also just run the Blues back and open it up.
Yeah, and looks like that's what he's going to do.
You know, we talked yesterday, Mike and I had a bit of a banter around, you know, and Mike's a coach, of course, but, you know, when do you bail? Like, at some point, the angles, the ends don't set up. If you got last rock, sometimes they leave it too late, and then you're past that point of no return. So Andrew, I think, recognizing that, you know what, I don't need to go all in here. I probably need to clean this up.
Yeah, first end, he's in a bit of trouble here. No need to give up, you know, a steal of 2 or even 3 this early against a good team. So he's going to bail here. Going to try a double peel, maybe drive something back into the house. He's done just that. So while Appelman still sits 2, it is a much better situation for Hodgson here. He's got that yellow guard. He can run back. He can see that second shot rock. And
you can come right to it.
It is a lot better.
The top 12's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, when you've got last rock, guards and rocks behind the tee line are your friend. And although those 2 are right on the tee line, it won't take much to sort of advance them back and create a wall for them. So, you know, as they say, there's you know, there's no real advantage until someone makes a slight miss here.
Like 14 3/4 a tee.
Yeah, I think Appelman recognizes that those rocks are really close to the tee line, and he's going to come in with another one, sit 3, and we will see how Hodgson responds.
Little late.
Line's good. Room right now. Roll if you can. Roll if you can.
Line's not bad.
All right, for those
Line's good.
continuing to join us on the stream here, we've got
Room,
Appelman
still
against
room.
Hodgson, 8 a.m. C event elimination game. I'm joined this morning by Scott Moncur. He'll be with us all 4 draws today. Coming in from Cochrane, the dedication with the snowstorm. He came in early and stayed the night. That is true commitment to not just the Bow Valley curling, but to the event itself. And Scott, really appreciative of you doing that, making sure we've got some good banter going on today because you made that commitment.
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite. And yeah, we had that snowstorm come in. We knew it was coming in last evening, so I came out late in the afternoon yesterday. And you know, it's always nice to get back to the Bow Valley, where I spent 7 or 8 years, and spend a night or 2 here in Banff.
Have a hair more.
What do you do, Scott?
So I work for RBC. I work for national office with RBC, but you know, I work from home in Alberta. It's a nice thing about working for a pretty large company is that there's that type of flexibility, and obviously with what we're going through right now with COVID and the protocols, most people are working from home. So yeah.
A bit of a miss there, obviously trying to run that back, but he did clear it out. Does make it a lot easier to look at. 2 rocks to go for Hodgson, so at least that's all open wide and lots of rocks to play off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just cross over.
Appelman's looking at a tight center guard here to guard the 2-shot rocks.
We don't want to give him.
But I think he knows that's going to leave the one on the side of the 4-foot exposed for Hodgson to come off of. So he is certainly in the driver's seat here, but Hodgson has some options to at least score, which I think at this point in the end, if Hodgson was able to get one, he'd probably see that as a bit of a victory.
Yeah, and you know what? If he does get a steal against them, you just chalk it up that Appelman scored 1 in evens. You score deuces and odds, and that usually adds up to a win for you. So first end, get some rocks under your belt.
Yeah, Wayne Madaw has always said to be really aggressive early in the game, because if you do give up, a 2 or 3 steal here, you've got a lot of time to get it back.
It's quick here, hey? 15-2 on his draw. Enough ice? Yeah, it should be. Yeah, no, it should be. Like 16 and a half, guard.
All right, our first watch of Ted Appelman this morning. Very nice delivery, very smooth, very clean release. You can see why he's one of the top curlers.
Line should be good.
Yeah, you mentioned early on that I might talk about some of these players that I've played against and beat. I have played Ted Appelman once in a Bonspiel. I did not beat him. It was a great game. He came down and supported our Canmore men's Bonspiel, and we played him in the A semifinal. They beat us, and then they went on to win. So played him once, but I'm 0-1 against Ted Appelman.
Technically, you came second then, right? Because he went on to win.
That's how I see it, yeah.
I love it. It's great, eh? And that's one thing about our sport there, Scott, that's so fun, is that you do get those opportunities to play against these athletes that have been to Worlds, and been to to Canadian Championships, and you can have a beer with them in the bar or pop, whatever your pleasure is, and chance to see them in the stands and the crowds here. Like Shannon Clybrink was here supporting the team her son plays on, and you can have a chat with them, and it's just that exposure is amazing to those athletes, and the fact that they're understanding and willing to give that to you is great too.
Yeah, it is fantastic, and all of these curlers, that you often see in the Brier, the Scotties, the World Championships, they have to play throughout the week, so that they play in club leagues, and it gives us club curlers a chance to play against them. And, maybe we only last 4 or 5 ends sometimes, but it's a good experience. So Team Appelman's put up that center guard, guarding the 2-shot rocks. But as I mentioned earlier, Team Hodgson always had this as an out. So it looks like he's going to try and come off that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think what he wants to hit as little of this as he can see.
Yes.
And that'll should be able to punch someone up behind the button, and then he's got his backing with his yellow, and he's actually be in a really good spot.
Yeah. Even if he hits it pretty thick and just rolls an inch or two and stays on the corner of that shot rock, it'll also give him an option too. So a lot of good outcomes from this shot here. He's got to get to the inside.
We watched yesterday. Yeah, this can really snap if you don't have white. And it's really going now. They just got to get it by though, and they are.
Maybe not by the next one though.
Well, actually, they hit the one on the button first and spun it up. So
that worked out really well.
Yeah, second and third with some good backing on that one. Lots of options too. You see the draw on the right. You see the tap up on the left. Pick on the right, so still Hodgson looking good in terms of where the house sits, but Appelman won't dislike the situation either.
No, he is shot rock. He's got a center guard up there. The first thought of many curlers might be another guard, but as you can see, Hodgson will be able to come off his own and actually score 3 with a center guard there. So I don't think that's the direction Appelman will go, but maybe we'll listen in and see what they decide.
3/4 of a rock.
So it looks like he's probably going to throw the double.
Yep.
Just has to watch a jam at the back. But even if he does, that's probably not the end of the world. Make this double, and he'll probably have forced Hodgson into a draw.
Double, I guess.
Yeah, I always say, what would Mike say? That's what I ask myself in these situations, because I'm the Monday night curler. And Mike yesterday, 5 for 5 on predicting these things. He would say it, and then they would say it out there. I kept thinking that he was mic'd up for them. Mic'd with Mike, I call it.
Yeah.
I think he could make money on that.
Yeah.
Close.
Good.
I told him I'd sell it to him for $1 million. He didn't take it.
So here we go. Looks like it's a little tight.
Oh, but he moved it over
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be enough to force the draw. Just with that center guard there, I don't think there's any sort of double for Hodgson here.
We could
Yeah.
play 10 here too.
Yeah.
Or board.
Yeah, the risk about coming around that center, you ever get it out.
Or just straight draw.
You ever rub off the guard,
Room
it's
to roll
a
too.
2.
Yeah, and you'd have to be pretty precise.
Whatever you want to throw.
Yeah, can't play off the back one because that's.
Play
I
board,
don't think you'd be able to
wrist
get
the
in for
guard.
shot. You know, this is where you've thrown
Draw,
practice.
wrist
You've
touching
seen a
it.
bunch of rocks. You should know the path.
Okay.
You know what? Put the broom down and throw it to the button, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, he briefly looked at kind of probably
Probably
a
threw
half
it
to
pretty clean,
board
eh?
weight double just to kind of kick that one in the 8-foot out to the 12-foot, try to stick around, but that's a really tough shot, especially in the first end. So yeah,
Well, he knows we don't have a telestrator, so he was just trying to illustrate it for the fans at home. So
that's right.
Andrew Hodgson, a chance here to draw it down and get some good confidence going and earn 1. He is drawing against 2. Ted Appelman. Let's watch how this finishes up.
Clean.
Go if
So
you
they
need
did
to.
play this path
Little
early
bit.
in the end.
Yep.
It should be
Yep.
pretty good. They should know it well.
Yep. Keep it out there. Yep. Hard. Hard.
So it gets cutting.
Hard. All the way. Hard.
They're by the guard. Gotta watch the shot.
That's good, guys. That's good.
I'm not sure,
One.
but
Sorry,
close
guys.
enough. So a steal of 1 for Appelman in the
Yeah.
first.
Just cuts hard.
And you know, he had perfect weight. You know, he had perfect weight. It just really goes there, and it's hard to tell yourself to take way out. The other thing when you get way out too, Scott, is that the weight can change. So have to be really careful.
Yeah, that was a pretty good result. You know, even though he had to draw full 4. They're not always going to make that, but I think he knew if he drew into the shot rock, worst case was he was going to get it.
Yeah.
So Appelman's going to come out, stay aggressive. He's going to start with the center guard, just like last end. Seemed to work for him. He controlled that end pretty much from start to finish. So we'll see how this one plays out.
Just the guard.
Of course, this is a new look Appelman team. Yeah, a couple
Pretty
of
good.
switches up in his roster for going into this year, and we'll see how that plays out as the season goes on.
Get over, curl.
I mean,
He doesn't seem to play as many of the events as, say, the Cooies and the Botchers, but he still is right up there.
Good,
Chuck,
Kev.
have a good start.
yeah, still competes at that level, but you're right, doesn't play the slams, plays more of the kind of local WCT events. And you might know this, but I don't think he played with
Wanna
his
block
brother
off
in
the
the last
draw
year or
button
two.
side?
So is his
Nope.
brother one of the new additions?
His brother is one of the new additions, and Kevin Tim, if I'm understanding it right. And of
tight,
course, if you're
yeah.
out there listening and I get this wrong, just let us know. We'll make sure we update it to the fans. But Kevin Tim and
Should get
Tom
there.
Appelman are the 2 that were added on this year.
Yeah, feel free to send in your comments and questions. And I can see already somebody looks like they're watching from Michigan. So we'll call this international coverage today.
Tight.
Tight.
Tight's good. Tight. Whoa, guys.
Tight
We got
top
a
easy,
tight
easy,
corner
easy,
guard,
easy.
so we're going to have centers and corners, and we're going to have a lot of action here, which is great.
Yeah,
Tight
it's,
like a tortoise.
Team
I like
Hodgson's taking a bit of a different approach. They came right around the center guard in the first end.
Just gotta sit through the over.
But this end they're going to throw the
I
corner.
like it. Get there.
And, looks like they're going to go hard for
Definitely
a
a corner.
deuce early in the end.
Definitely a
But like you said, they'll decide when they bail, if they have to bail. So we'll see how this goes.
And just quick update on sheet 2.
12, top 8.
Jacob Lippis
Top
made a
8.
draw
Line's
against
good.
4
Gonna wait a bit.
to take 1 in the first end. They had
Needs to move
hammer,
a
so
bit.
1-0 Lippis over Team Jakes,
Yeah,
heading
looks a
into
That's
little
top 4
the
at least.
second end. Over on sheet number
Really
1,
curling now.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
good.
Terry
Still-
Meek, who
still
took
okay.
1, so they're up
I think
1-0
it's good. No
heading
sweeping
into the
necessary. 14-8.
second end against Team Manson. That's a
Okay.
great game because you've got a junior team playing against the senior team. We always say this game, one of the great things is, you know, all different age groups can play against each other, and here's a great example of it in a major bonds field.
Yeah, and those two teams, they'll be familiar with each other. They play in the same league at the Calgary Curling Club. So
Do you want to play just bump it back, or do you want to just kill
a
it?
few times throughout the year.
It's kind of an away-home game.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mind this.
We play Terry Meek actually on
Even if you
Monday,
just dead
so
green,
we're
so it's
hoping
not
he
bad.
kind of goes pretty far into this bonds bill and gets tired out before our Monday night game. So.
Yeah. Just throw it there. We can sweep it for a tap.
So Team Appelman came around the center guard. It over curled a bit, so Hodgson can see about half. And it looks like he's going to freeze or maybe tap.
Line's good.
Back 8, so they're looking to tap this to the back of the house.
Line's really good.
Probably
Yep.
roll under.
Should go hard here now.
Yeah, it
Right up
really
to it,
is.
right up to
It's
it.
diving. It's going to get by the guard.
Hard, right up to it.
Just need to make sure they make contact
Yeah,
with this one.
It's going to over curl a bit, but the weight.
Yep, good weight.
Yeah,
That's fine.
but it did pop out in the open. So similar to
Curls
last
that
time,
much, eh?
Appelman's going to be able to sit a couple, have center. Have
You like
center
board?
guard, but Hodgson still has that corner and isn't
Try to roll
in
in?
a lot of trouble, even if this hit and roll is made.
Yeah, and you can tell how good this ice is. You don't need to skinny the guard in order to get to these rocks. You almost need to miss them by a foot and a bit, because it'll come.
Yeah, which is the type of ice these
Just
guys like
board.
to play on.
Go quiet. Yes.
You know, slam ice would be similar, a lot of late finish, and it helps them just make a few extra shots that you couldn't normally make on club ice.
And you know, here's another example. When that weight's down just a bit, which is what's called for, it really will curl. When you get it up though, it'll float a bit and hang, and we saw that yesterday. So again, it's not just automatic that it's going to curl that much. It's weight sensitive, which again is great because it allows the good releases and the top players to take advantage
can
of
really
it.
do
And if
this
you
and
don't
roll
have
either
that,
way.
then it'll put you at a disadvantage for sure.
Yeah, we haven't seen them yet, but we will see some run backs and some peels throughout the day. And like you said, generally when the ice is this good, when they throw it hard, it'll stay straight. So as long as they release it clean, they know where it's going to go.
And I know someone was asking who the commentators are, but we also want to tell you who the rest of the team is here. We've got Annette Young on audio. She's the one who's making sure our eardrums stay in the right spot. And of course,
Lord.
tunes in and out the players so that you get to hear them and not hear us at times. And we've got we've got Jamie and Thomas Holver who are on the cameras and the technical directing, doing a fantastic job all weekend. And again today, that's what you want to watch and see, and they're doing a tremendous job to bring you some great action and great angles.
That's right.
Just down.
Yeah.
So Team Hodgson a little bit light. They were trying to tap and roll under again. Crashed on the guard, but split it at first glance. It looks like they split it to two corners. However, you mentioned the swing in the ice. Both of those rocks are going to be in the way of a draw
Yeah,
to the
beside
butt.
the yellow's okay.
So not a
front of it.
great result for Team Hodgson, and Team Appelman's going to try to take advantage of it here.
Yeah, and even though in one hand they opened that center up a bit, if you look at those two rocks out there,
Tight on its
they're right
own.
in that slide path for a draw to the button. So both draw to the buttons are kind of blocked by those rocks.
We're not bad.
So if it's not a hit, it's going to be a difficult draw, and it'll have to be off of the 4 foot. So
Yeah.
of course Ted puts this right, then there'll be very little holes to go through too. But looks like there's still room there.
Yeah, it over curled a bit. Team Hodgson's going to be able to throw a hit. Might even have enough room to make a quiet.
Think you
double
guys
like they
gotta
did
go this way
last
with it.
time. But at the very end, they'll hit and roll into the rock that's currently shot, and then they will flip this in pretty quickly.
Just to keep it straight enough, eh?
Don't mind it.
Hopefully you get a little sink in it.
There's Blake Johnson getting ready to throw, a left-hander. So he'll be coming out of it a little different than the right-hander would, a little more of a straight-on throw. Have to have a positive handle and make sure he gets it going out, because this will take
9,
off quicker
8,
than
5.
the other ones.
To your point, they are sweeping this pretty hard. It's a little bit tight, but I think they're going to get by.
Well, if they get by, the thinner the
Yeah,
better for a
yeah.
potential double. They do want him to sit, though. I do want it to sit. Appelman, of course, can't sweep it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't spin back in.
Yeah, and I think
That's
they
okay.
had to throw that weight because of the yellow guard that's just off the center line there, guarding the 4-foot. They would have liked to have thrown hack or board at that, but with the curl they had to keep the weight up, and that's the result. So Appelman's got an opportunity to sink another one in
Yep.
here. Sit two behind center guards, just like the first end.
A little light, I think.
Whoa, early.
Room, room. Lot of line.
Okay, keep it going. Okay, good. Whoa, whoa. We're going to be wide open, Tom, so we're just playing to here. Your rock had to pick.
You know, I just
That's crazy.
decided to watch.
Okay.
There was 5 rotations, 4 3/4 on that, and it's really on these swingy ice what you need.
Try
Because
and
if you
get
get a
these two
really
flop
weak
over a bit.
handle, it can
There.
really take
Right, just
off.
play
It's
that
always
little
important to
tap or
be a
come
bit
around.
positive when you've got curly swingy ice.
I don't know
Yeah,
what that
and
gets
curlers
you.
at this level always throw that positive rotation. To your point, they often play on
Just don't
surfaces
accidentally
like
kick
this,
them in by
so
playing
they're
it
used to
inside.
So that one was supposed to be in the rings, but it hung out there a little bit wider, so Appelman didn't want to bring it in and leave it open.
You could
So he
just
has
try
to
and let
switch
us run.
to let it stop short. So three center
Yeah.
guards for Appelman.
Just dead nose.
One
and
rock
just
in the
plug it
4-foot.
out, so they have to play this
And
tap.
Hodgson looks like he's going to try and run something in and
we have to make another
Yeah, he's
run.
got
open up that
open.
4-foot.
He's got to open that up because
do you like better?
he has nothing right now other than a tap in. But sitting in the 4-foot, you might as well run it at the one in the house if you can.
Yeah,
I think this one, yeah.
absolutely. So he's going to run the one on the outside,
Here.
which will open up, even if he doesn't make the run back, it will open up the intern draw for him.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
Pretty close. He's got it.
Oh, great shot.
Shooter didn't roll that far though, so still going to be tough to get in. There is a port there on the intern side though, and Appelman's going to try and come right through there.
And he's got some staggered guards, so certainly great to get that off. But Appelman's still sitting in a really good position here, blocking that 4-foot area with his stones, and have the chance to come through that port and continue to put the pressure on, which he's done since, I guess, first rock of the first end.
Yeah, they have controlled most of the first two ends here.
There's more than I just
Results
threw.
in a steal in the first end.
Line's
Back in
good.
Lead and a great opportunity for another steal here.
Line's good.
A little bit of room.
Whoa if you can.
Whoa, if you can.
Whoa.
It should come hooking off if he's
bad,
got
though.
the right
Line's
weight,
good.
and here it
Line's
comes.
nice. Top 4 now. Go.
Line's good.
There it
That
comes.
line is
Hard ball.
fantastic.
Far as it goes. Far as it goes. Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right to the 4-foot. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good sweep, guys. Throws, Nathan.
Great throw by Nathan there,
Sweet.
just on top of the button.
Great throws, bud.
Follow him down or just play this one.
Nathan Connolly, a terrific curler, as you mentioned. He's been with Ted for a few years. He was with him when
And
they
they just go
made
over.
the provincial final against Team Cooey,
Yeah.
and they've been a great tandem.
Line is coming here.
Interesting to see how the new look Team
Think you
Appelman
gotta
will
open it
fare
up.
this year.
Yeah, well, there's a great example of Cooey actually
Yeah.
came through the sea in that.
Mm.
He was down to a last lifeline and came through
his
that
blood.
and was able to obviously win and head off to the Briar. And
Yeah.
again, all these curlers out here tonight, or tonight, this morning, it feels like tonight though, Scott. They're in the sea event, but look at all the great teams out there. Just tremendous field and very fortunate, and really it's anyone's event if they bring game and they can keep that momentum going.
Close.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So another run back here. He
He
clipped it, but
does.
didn't get it out.
Did move it out into the open though, so the hole he made, he's created, but you
bad.
probably see Ted either come down on the top 4 again or block that off.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, he might be able to kind of quarter or half
As long as
bury.
you plug the hole and he goes
Top
right here.
12,
Oh, then you just sit on
top
top of
8,
him, I guess,
and then,
right? And he
choke
doesn't- he'll
off
play it run
the
for 2.
access to the shot rock.
Line
He,
there.
he may also just
Guard, I mean.
come in,
I think that's a
fully
smart
buried.
call right now.
but that's going to leave.
You think he's
Hodgson
gonna draw, or is
that
he gonna run
opportunity
from
to
it? I think
get
he's
into this end, like you mentioned.
I think he's gonna draw right here, and then we're gonna sit on him, and then he'll play that for 2.
Right.
That's probably how we
Just don't know where's a good spot to come in because you come here, you're probably over curling to here.
Yeah.
isn't bad,
He
I
still
guess.
he'll still have some sort of run for 2. But
So you're thinking guard?
well, yeah. Well, if
come
you
in
want
here
to
and
take that
say
away,
here.
then we come to here, and then
Yeah.
he plays a hit and roll to here, and then we do that again,
Right.
and then just it's very precise on this ice.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
what I don't like.
Okay.
So right here.
You don't often hear that you don't like when it has to be precise, but maybe it's just early in the game, early in the morning. We'll see.
You just guard it, play the smart call, and
Yeah, so
mean,
they're just going to throw.
I'd love to go top 4. I'd
throw
love to
the
go top
center
4,
guard.
but
And then Hodgson will have a few opportunities to
Nathan
run
was
something in. Might even be able to run his own in.
he was right on the edge, the 8-foot. Yeah, I got another rock more, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, Nathan was just touching center.
It's great to hear the dialogue, though. I mean, we
His
don't
run-
know
his run
that,
went
and
straighter
it's
than
good to
his
hear
run.
what they're thinking about
Right
out
now
there
it's
and
still
what's
max ice
formulating
that you-
formulating their thought
Yeah,
process and
max
shot
ice.
selections.
Oh, again.
Line's good. Bit of room. Little bit of room.
Really got a curl.
Gotta wait. Gotta wait. Gotta wait.
Gotta wait.
It looks like it's
catch.
out there. It's going to be in some
Good,
fresh.
keep it going. Keep
fresh
it going. Yeah,
pebble.
line's pretty good now.
Trying
Hey,
to
line's
make it
not bad.
curl.
Line's good. Line's good.
Tom.
It's coming.
Line's good. Doesn't need to curl.
Easy, easy. Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
You know,
whoa,
guards
whoa,
are
whoa,
not
whoa,
as
whoa,
easy
whoa.
as these guys make it seem. I mean, with all the great runbacks and the draws they're making, a guard like that on swingy ice like this is very, very impressive. Great shot there by Ted, and he accomplished his objective. Of course, now we're going to see Andrew take a different approach. You know, it's down to 2-1 in terms of rocks left, and he thinks we can swing one around. He'll sit shot, and that'll leave Ted that long run back. But he has a chance to put some pressure on and maybe do a skip deuce here.
Yeah, he's going to throw the in-turn draw.
Honestly, we should even be able
Makes
to
the
get to
top
that wood.
button
It's
perfect.
freaking wrapping hard out.
Ted will have a
We just have to
decision
get
to
it
make.
around that center guard.
The run back would be an option. He could probably come in and freeze, or he could guard, which I don't think he'll do given all the yellow.
Still 14-8-ish.
But the shot has to be made first.
That's right. Well, we watched this
Little bit.
shot.
Yep.
This looks a little
Yep,
tight
hard.
for that hole. Yeah,
Hard.
I don't think this will get by.
Yeah, line's close. Line's good. All you. All you.
They think it will, but it is
Whoa.
diving.
Oh,
Whoa.
look at that. It's probably the weight
Whoa.
then.
It
Will it
could
slow
be, yeah.
down?
Through.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Wow, really good throw from terms of getting it through, but we kind of could tell there that seemed to be on a path to wreck him, and it didn't. It usually is indication it had more speed.
I mean, I think you just make the hole. I'm not sure you can really control the line much more than that.
Well, I'm talking the depth. I don't think
Oh.
we want to be in here anyways.
Now
It's a
that
big
Hodgson
pocket. We
tried
just want to
that
just touch
in-turn
4 I
draw.
think, eh?
Yeah, I mean,
Ted
I think you're
knows
going to
that
be
that's where
getting.
he's
I
gonna
think you're
go
getting
with
to
his
here.
last, so
Oh, you
he's
think
gonna
it
try and
curls
beat him in
over?
I
there.
think so. Yeah.
Sit to,
Let's take lots of
touching the
ice.
button.
Okay.
Looks like he's okay leaving this a little bit higher, but as long as he plugs that hole a little bit, he'll be in really good shape.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to come back too deep because obviously there's two
think we
yellows
wanna,
that can
like,
be run in, and the
just
wider
touch
the
4 foot.
pocket, the greater the opportunity to
No. It's right on the
for Hodgson in terms of dispersion on that run back. So you still want to be precise in this. Mike and I talked about it yesterday. You don't just throw it down somewhere.
Like,
You really
top
want to be
eight's really good.
precise on where you want to place these things.
Yeah. At this
Yeah,
level,
top 12 is better
you
than
have to be
4.
precise. One mistake
14,
with
right? Yeah.
you know, how deep a rock is,
Okay,
or how
close.
much you let it curl or don't curl, could cost you. Could leave an opportunity that you don't see going into that shot.
I got him.
Line's a little tight.
Line's pretty good.
Hard line.
That's curling. Yeah, keep
Hard
going.
line.
Line's great.
Hard. Gotta go. Gotta go.
It's on a similar line to Hodgson, so if the weight's right, they're going to have to work to get this by.
Still want to try and plug that hole if they can, which they will.
Yeah, I think they've done.
I felt heavy out of my hand.
That was all weight though.
It felt heavy.
You know, that wouldn't have even made the house if it had gotten by.
Absolutely
So
not.
Yeah, so Hodgson's got to run back. Ideal result here is to run it back and lose the one that he's
Right,
running
outturn
back
straight.
for the blank.
Hard in.
My out turn straight.
Fairly straight. Do you want to just throw 9?
9. Yeah. 8.
well, for Hodgson at least, it's he's not
They're
hitting
high.
against 2.
Yeah.
So you know, hopefully
Yeah.
he can blank the end
Probably
if he
need 2
gets
inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
straight run back, or he will be able to stick it for 1, or worst case give up one. So a better scenario than it looked like he'd be facing, but
Yeah.
Either we
certainly
feel or
very
just stick
capable of
around,
making
no
this
matter
shot.
what.
Did you see if
try
he
and get
wanted
the
to
bullet.
stick it, or is he trying to make the blank?
I don't know if they talked about it, but I have to imagine he's trying to blank. It's early in the game. Hammer is important, so I have to imagine he's going to want to hang on to hammer and try and get his deuce and take control of the game. So
Clean. Yep. Whoa.
Yep.
Always a good sign. Whoa,
Whoa.
yes, whoa,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
and it just curled a millimeter too far. Ran it right by, so it's a steal of one for Appelman. He'll take a
Doesn't matter.
2-0 lead into the third.
Well, certainly Appelman putting on the pressure, wanting to come out firing, and he's getting rocks in play, and he's been on the better side of it so far in terms of the results and wanting them to death, as they say.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see the approach Hodgson takes in the third. Appelman's thrown center line guard both ends. First end Hodgson came around it. Second end he threw a corner. Same result in both ends, a steal of one. See what they go with, or if they try something different.
Just so we have a moment here, just want to give a few shout outs here to some of the sponsors of these teams. Obviously, without the sponsors, these events don't happen and these teams can't travel. First for the event, ATB, big sponsor. They're the, main sponsor for our event, and have done a lot of stuff for our event, but also for curlers and teams. And thank you very much for all your support of our sport. Banff Curling Club has given up their ice, but also provided volunteers. And we should say the Canmore Curling Club, always supportive of events held here, always providing us with volunteers. We've got the town of Banff who've enabled our event to happen at their facility. Very appreciative. And Curling Alberta, who's done so much great work so that curling could happen this fall for those clubs that wanted to make it happen. And they came up with some great resources and tools that collaboratively was worked on to make sure the sport would be as safe as possible. As we look at Team Hodgson, they've got Aspen Crossing, Market Seeds, Perry's 2-for-1 Pizza and Pasta. That's my favorite. ATK Engines, Grit Personal Training, and Engage Construction. They also wanted to give a shout out to any of the fans that woke up this early in the morning just to see them curl. So a big thank you from them. That'll be family and friends that are out there. And if you happen to watch the stream later, well, this thank you goes out to you too.
I pulled into the parking lot at the same time as Team Hodgson this morning. It was pitch black.
Halfway.
Snow
halfway
on the
high.
roads. I know you were already in here, so it was an early
Halfway's
start. So
good.
I
I
know
like halfway.
any of their
Halfway's
fans
tight.
that did tune in to
Good.
watch and support them, I know they really do appreciate it.
Yeah, these are not professional athletes. Well, they play like them, but in the sport of curling, of course, no one can make a living only off of that. So they certainly require support and help, and it's really appreciated. And it's not just help from sponsors, but it's help from family and friends and members that are willing to help them out in terms of places to stay and travel and gas money and anything else that it takes. So.
So this one started out with Appelman going in the rings. A 2-0 lead. Cleaner end. Try to force Hodgson to one. It would be their goal. And then Hodgson through the corner just like he did in the second.
Whoa. Losing line here.
Now Appelman throws the center guard. So we're back to a really similar situation that we saw last end.
Like hack or board.
Well,
Somewhere in there, like probably.
I like hack.
I like hack.
Well, it looks like over on sheet one, Manson came back in the second end with a score of 2, so they leave Terry Meek 2-1, playing the third, but Meek does have last rock. And on sheet 2, Libis was able to steal one. Jake's trying a run back for a few and not executing it, so gave up the steal. So it's 2-0 for Jake's as they head in. For Libis as they head into
Hack up.
third end.
Back
and
up.
Jake's, of course, will have last
Hair
rock.
up. Hair up.
On our sheet, 2-0 as well after two straight steals from
Hard. You got it.
Ted
Hard,
Appelman's
hard.
team over Team Hodgson,
whoa,
but
whoa,
certainly
whoa.
lots of game
Jared,
left.
Jared.
And a great shot
Get a
here
blender
to
a
start
It's all
with
good.
a lead for Team Hodgson.
Board.
Yeah.
How much?
Just had a hack weight. nose hit. They were trying to get a little bit under. Now Appelman's going to play a similar shot, probably just through or hack weight. Try and stay there or flip a couple inches under.
Board. Weight's good. Low heavy if anything.
Whoa. Whoa. Shoot. Right in the middle. Okay. Good job.
Probably exchanging
Good
nose
jump.
hits here. Roll out a little bit. Gives
Hacker.
Hodgson a little bit more room
Board.
to roll. You might even be able to roll all the way under his corner.
Oh, well, they throw this shot. What's curling like in Calgary right now, Scott? Like a lot of clubs opening. Is it busy? Are there similar type of rules with single sweepers and that for leagues? What are you seeing around the area where you curl?
Yeah, I curl at the Calgary Curling Club, and I'd say numbers are pretty steady. The Monday men's league that I curl in is full, but it looks a little bit different than what you're seeing out here. We do have the one sweeper.
Clean, just clean.
The
Whoa,
Calgary
whoa.
Club has also put some plexiglass dividers between the sheets, some specific spots for that sweeper that's not sweeping can stand after you throw, a spot you can go to and have some protection from the sheet next to you. But you know what? We played one game so far, and I didn't notice a big difference except for as the skipper.
Same or you want this?
Can't sweep.
Yeah.
Skips generally aren't very good at it, so it's not a big difference. But sometimes I wanted to get out there and help with sweep or sweep something after the tee line, and the rules just don't allow it. So that's the only difference I really noticed.
We were debating whether it was a safety thing that skips weren't allowed to sweep, so maybe they wouldn't fall or something.
That could be. Or sometimes their sweeping will slow the rock down instead of speed it up. Appelman would love to hang around here. If he rolls out, Hodgson's going to have an opportunity to go around his corner.
No
Yeah.
man's land.
And that's what's happened
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yep.
He's gonna stay aggressive here, go around his corner.
I always say if you put one up, it's because you want to use one.
Yeah. I think too many times you'd see a team walk up and peel that center guard, but down 2-0. Rocks in play, even if it is a center guard, might help you get that deuce. So they're going to go around the corner, try to get Appelman to chase them and play their game on that side of the sheet.
Hair up, back 8.
Okay, whoa.
Back 8.
Yeah,
Back 4.
8. Back 4. Whoa.
Starting to come.
That's really close for a tap or a win. Hard off. It's not bad.
Just didn't quite curl
Hair
over
up.
there, but
Hair
still
up,
he's got
eh?
some
Get
staggered
a break.
staggered corner guards there to use for sure.
Get
Appelman's
back.
going to come right around that center guard.
Should be good
Those
speed out
two
here, I think.
staggered
eh?
corners could be trouble. So he's going to try and bring the play to the intern side of the sheet for right-handed throwers and around the center guard.
That light, you think?
Line's good.
Room.
Line's good.
You see this
Lots of
one's
room,
way out
Kev.
there, but this will start to hook.
Line's good. Kevin
Two
inside.
sweepers, so my guess is
Hard,
maybe light again.
hard, hard. Hard, gotta go hard.
They got to
The
go to
line's
get it
really
by, then they
good.
got to drag it.
Yeah, they're by. And just a bite of the top 12. But it's something Hodgson's going to have to think about.
Well, it's an aggressive move. It's just which one does he come around? Probably his yellows, but he does have to come from the outside. And that is a bit of a
Battery can still try
different
and come
path.
around our yellows.
Yeah, my first thought would be come
I
around the
think we might as well
corners.
go here, eh?
But if it's not made well, it leaves Appelman the opportunity
What do you
to
guys
come
like?
around the one he just threw and be behind
What do you
the
like?
staggered center guards.
Yep.
But this
Well-
does give him the best chance to score two. He's getting one around his corner guard's shot rock.
Yeah, and they just threw this pass, so
Yeah.
with the knowledge they should have from the last shot,
Yeah.
you'd expect this one to be made.
Yep.
Have a hair last.
Line's
You're there,
good.
you're there.
I like the
Room,
line
room,
for this
whoa.
round. Sweepers are close to it. So weight's probably close.
Heavy again.
It's got a curl though. Not sure it's gonna get off those center guards.
Shit, did the same thing again. All right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, the weight seemed right the way it hit that one up. I think they could have dragged that to probably top 4 if it had gotten by.
Come around and everything?
Yeah, I don't know if that was just taking a little bit more ice to get around that second corner, or if
what'd you say?
if the thrower was just a little bit wide
Double
up to the
tap?
broom. But
think
Appelman,
this will
big
get there,
opportunity
like-
here. Come right around those 2 center guards. Now he's got another yellow one out there. So if he can sink this one in there, just like the first 2 ends, he'll have control down to Skip Rocks.
Line's good.
Line's good. You can wait.
Line's nice.
The sweepers like the
Lots of room
weight.
on this one.
Skip likes the line. I mean, can't get any better than that
Room,
halfway
Tom
down
in.
the
Hard,
ice.
Tom.
Looks like they're trying to get it to carve.
Where's the weight? Line's great.
Line's good.
And it
Oh.
is. It's going in sideways. If they can get this full top 4, it's going to be in a really good spot.
Good sweep.
Really nice. Fully buried, especially from the hack look. But I think the blue on blue should pick it out on the way by. Should be able to open this
No,
up.
I don't like
And
that.
again, what we're seeing here is, Appelman, they're making the shots, and that's putting the pressure on
You
each
gotta
end
open it
and
up, otherwise
give
you're
them
not
the
gonna have
advantage.
anything.
Do you want to hit a high side?
I think
Yeah, hair
Appelman
high
has,
side.
It's really played well at third for Appelman today.
Nathan Connolly.
He's very experienced.
Yeah.
So in an elimination game, I think he would know he's got to bring his A game, and he has so far, and that's really where these ends have gone Appelman's way.
Yeah, and even though we're in the C event, as we said, the field is so strong that only
we're
one
running.
team wasn't going to drop down from the A, and there's only one team not dropping down from the B. So in the C, we will have a collection of top Alberta Canadian teams competing. So certainly Appelman would have liked to have gone a little further in one of those events to avoid some of these earlier games, but there's a path for him, and he certainly, this is the first game of his journey. You need 3 today in order to get through, and
Yeah.
that's what everyone's facing is playing here this morning.
Yeah. Just peels out that yellow. I think he was trying to drive the yellow onto the blues, drag it a bit into the shot rock, and open things up a bit. But he just got the yellow, so still advantage Team Appelman. To your point there, the C event throughout the day is really going to be terrific. We're going to see at least one of either Botcher or Hardy in the C at some point. You know, everyone knows Brendan Botcher. I think he's the 2nd-ranked team in the world right now.
Yeah, as long as you're on the low
And
side.
Jeremy Hardy won 3 WCT Tour events last year, so just top teams.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Hardy gave
High
Cooey all
side,
he could
yeah.
handle in the first qualification game last night. So so one of those 2 teams will be in C at some
What are you
point.
trying to
It's gonna
throw
be a
here,
really good day.
Yeah, and anyone watching the event will have seen that Cooey against Team Hodgson here was up 7-2, and 3 ends thought that was over, and Hodgson brought it back to 7-6. And last night, got up early on Team Hardy, and Hardy fought back hard. I mean, other than that one end, Hardy really they played strong, and they made things out of nothing at times too, right? It wasn't like they were always sitting in a good position, but they stuck with their game plan. They executed shots, got some misses or half shots, and were able to make the comeback. And obviously not all the way back, but they certainly showed that they're at that level. And I think anyone playing against Cooey, if they get behind now, will have a sense they can come back.
Yeah, we won't see Cooey in action now for a while. I believe it's Sunday because he did get that first qualifier.
Sunday at 10.
Mine's good.
Yeah, okay.
Just a
Mine's
reminder
good.
for those that will be joining
Let's
us
light.
later today that
Hard.
at
Really got
12 o'clock we will have Glenn Kennedy against Botcher.
Hard.
Glenn Kennedy and his team playing a
hard,
really
hard,
good
hard,
game.
hard. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta
Looks
go.
like he's trying a double tap here and stagger those guards.
Okay.
He's changed the angles up a bit, but I don't
all you can
know
do,
if
eh?
he's changed them enough. Hodgson might still be able to run those blues
But it's
back.
the only issue is you not it.
The only issue is you're leaving it there.
his shooter will stay right there. So if they don't clip the shot rock, they'll be in a tough spot.
I mean, that means he has to make another draw, so.
Yeah. Alright.
Feel?
Well, for Appelman, he's got Hodgson hitting his rocks in. So, I mean, that's certainly where he wants to be at this point. I know Hodgson must be getting a little frustrated that he's not getting an opportunity to be a little more aggressive or take that
try and at least get the 2 blues out of
that
there.
action to Appelman. But, well, that's the way it gets to him, and that's what he's going to deal with. So certainly a chance to open this up a bit and make it hopefully an easier shot for his last to get on the board. But right now he's got to execute this with a nice peel and remove some of that blue.
And I'm sure Hodgson would love to throw a few more draws early in the game for some confidence later, but this is what he's
Close,
faced.
yep.
Line looks pretty good. He was able to get that out of the 4-foot. First one he ran back stayed in the 12-foot, so Appelman still sits
sorry, guys.
Room, touch
I don't know
more.
why.
staggered center guards, but he did open up a little bit more room for a draw on his last one. But if Appelman puts this one in there in the right spot, again, he's going to be faced with a tough last shot.
Pound more weight, eh? Just a touch more.
Yeah.
So Steve, I know you're the
Mine should be good at the end. You go right
main
through.
organizer of this event. Can you tell us a little bit about all the work that goes into this and bringing all these top teams together under safe protocols?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of
Mine's a
all, we're
little
really
tight.
fortunate to have been able to work with Team Cooey, Ben Hebert, Johnny Moe, who sort of spearheaded getting this together and getting these teams, available.
You're on the
So
top. Keep going, keep
that
going,
part,
keep
which
going,
is usually
keep going.
really hard,
Yeah.
the promotion and the attraction of the teams, we were just very fortunate that these top teams are looking for places to play and wanting to come to Banff. So that made that part a lot easier. The live stream is the biggest one. We've got a tremendous crew here who understand the IT world and understand YouTube and all this stuff. And without them, it would be a stop-go right there. And I say it's all the volunteers. We do the Qualico mixed, we do
just spread
men's
out that way.
invitationals, the
Yeah.
U18 Bantam Championships. So
You want to play it?
a lot of events get held
I'd
out
like to
here,
try
and there's
one
a
more time,
good
Hammer.
core crew of volunteers that
got it.
continue to
Before we
give
have
their
to give it
time,
up.
whether it's doing the ice, whether it's, being the on-ice officials, and just being able to call upon them. They know what to do. They just need the little nuances of the rules and that. But, without them, none of this happens. So certainly, putting it together is a chunk of work and the logistics, but it's really the fact that we have a lot of dedicated people in this community that just love seeing events and love the different sports and are willing to give their time. And because of that, we can do these wonderful things and put on a good show and have people want to keep coming back.
It's terrific. It looks like it's been a
Whoa,
great event
whoa.
so far, and it's going to be a great event through the weekend. So Appelman wasn't able to make that draw, so now Hodgson has a chance to throw the double
One blue.
and blank, but he doesn't. He hits the first one a little bit thin and just squirts that shot towards the button. So unfortunately for Team Hodgson, that is another steal of one. 3-0 at the end of 3 for Team Appelman.
2.5.
Well, if there's a silver lining in that for Hodgson, and I think he's got to find that he knows he can score multiples. He's done that. He's done it against Coo. He's done it against other teams. And the damage has been kept to singles. Certainly he's been chasing all game, and at some point that's going to change. And when it does, they'll be able to get back. So what they're going to need here is to try and that front end to get the back end in a bit better position to start getting aggressive here. But certainly this is a top quality team in Appelman with great curlers, and they're going to just keep putting that pressure on. If they keep making the shots, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Should have guarded.
Appelman's going to stay aggressive here. I think he knows he's got the edge, and he's going to he's going to stay aggressive.
win
Keep
now.
putting the pressure on. He's through center guard here.
Yeah.
You're in.
We're in.
A lot of teams would probably go in top 8, top 4 here with a 3-point
Sorry.
lead. Run it up and down the sheet for a couple ends
we're in.
and keep that lead. But
Looks in, eh?
I think Appelman senses an opportunity.
Biggest defense is a good offense sometimes,
Yeah.
and if you've got a formula that's worked 3 ends in a row,
Yeah, you too.
maybe you just keep going with it. Other than Coca-Cola, I don't know anyone who's had a successful formula and changed it.
That's true, yeah. But So unfortunately for Appelman, he did want that center guard, but it slid into the house. But that's going to be no damage. You know, that's he can go a few different ways with this end. He can keep it clean, or he can do what he did last end and guard with his second. And go from there. So corner guard's going to go up again here from Team Hodgson. They'd just love to get a chance to really use these corners.
That's right. Well, they did last time. They just missed on 2 draws, and that's really been the difference.
Tight. Tight.
Line's really good.
So for Appelman, there are a few ways to defend a corner guard there. He can throw center guard on the rock that he has in the house. He could freeze the rock he has in the house, but you'd have to have the right angle to make sure there wasn't a hit and roll towards the corner. You could draw open to the other side. But the one thing you would not want to do is come around.
Good half.
Yeah.
Just keep the play away from her.
He kind of wants it out
Come
front
over a bit.
because, if he goes in, he does give advantage
Slide
back to
that blue,
Hodgson
maybe.
because they don't
Right
really
here?
hurt him in the house as much as they do
Yeah.
out front.
Just short, maybe.
Yeah, this one.
If you can
as long as
sweep
the
it, you got to
angle's
sweep
right.
it. But if you can, go. Yeah.
Looks like it's going to stay
Yeah,
short
good shots,
of the rings,
Kevin.
which is really
Sweep,
good.
guys.
Hodgson being down 3, I'm going to guess he will go around the corner. Especially because that Appelman rock is only in the 8 foot.
So you might be thinking of taking that in the open and
You
roll
like playing
over.
board at this?
I like at least back line.
Back line, hack.
Even
Okay.
if he rubs off the guard,
him
the
on
key
back
is
line.
weight. You want this one to be in, even if you don't make it perfectly to what you're thinking. You got to bounce over and get it in.
Yeah, in behind that corner and then tap that guard into the ring so they can deal with it. Right shot.
It's a bit of a risky shot. I would have thought he'd just straight draw around, but obviously feeling like that rock's not too bad, and Appelman will just guard it again. It'll be harder
you
to
gotta
get
go.
at.
Find it
Fine,
inside.
yep.
This looks tight though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna have to go hard.
they really are. Looks like it's on it. Probably where they wanted to hit it right now. So it's going to curl up probably at least to the nose. He's tapped him in and left a center guard, so not the result they were looking for.
Yeah, but again, I'll be the optimist here. At least you can run that back, and you got about a 4 foot dispersion, and might even make a double. But Appelman's going to try and hook one around and take that away from him. And again, he's controlling the control zone, we would say, and it's yellow guards to come in. So.
Yeah, this is some of the early ends he's been running in Appelman rocks, and now he would be running in as
Top
an
12.
officer. So it is a better situation than it's been.
Little heavy. Bumping that blue, baby.
Hard. Hard.
Let's let back.
Hard then.
Well, they're going to come back 4.
Right
Might
down
be able
to
to
it.
squeeze it between those
Yeah,
two
yeah.
blues.
He's got a curl.
No.
Oh, it is.
I got 14-8 on that. So that's the T line. Good talk.
There you go, 14-8 T-line. So we're still right around that 15 mark and still has some good curls. So great job of the ice makers. That's Brian Armstrong, our head ice maker. We've got Marty
I don't mind the same
Villamere
weight.
and Jim Oliver. So
Or even if you go like this.
I know Brian and Jim have been making the ice here at
Pretty tough to
Banff
do
for
that.
as long as I've been coming out here. They always do a great job.
You ever play this with 10?
yeah,
Yeah, I like that too.
Just throw 10 so you stick around at least. Here. Double
Yeah, we
corners.
just gotta keep our rocks in play.
Yeah.
yeah, 2 options, and I like the run back here because
Go 10.
Just
yeah.
10.
Try and hit and flop on here.
Absolutely, run this back, open it up. You can't utilize your corner while the other team's sitting 3 with one in
Gotta
the
keep
4
our
foot.
rocks in play.
So try and get 1, maybe 2 out. Keep your shooter around. Roll it towards the corner guard.
the key is, and you heard Andrew say it, we've got to keep our rocks around.
Yep.
We've got to get a full hit
Play the
here.
back one.
Okay, well,
This one is really tight.
Yeah, so they want it to get by that top one. They don't want to hit their own. There you go. So now they're going to try and hit the one over. You know what? That's the best plan. D.
Yeah, yeah.
I think B and C kind of sailed by, but you know what? Not a bad result for that. At least they get rid of 1.
Yeah.
and they don't disturb that run back for the next shot. Just taking a peek over onto sheet one, obviously Terry Meek did not like having a deuce scored on him because he came right back with a 4 spot in the third end. So Meek is up 5-2 on Manson, but Manson's certainly shown the ability to score early in the game, and they do have hammer as they play in 4.
Yeah.
Sheet 4 is empty. That's why we're not giving an update from over there. There's just 3 games here going in the C. So we are just looking at sheets 1, 2, and 3. And N3 ended over on sheet 2. Just not sure what happened yet. We'll find out when they put the score up. Of course, putting the score up is different this year. All the score numbers and scoreboards are sanitized. And the team that begins the game with the hammer are responsible for putting up the scores. So it's kind of neat to see people putting up their opponent's scores. You never know who scored. It used to be that whoever went and got the number, you knew they scored. You just didn't know how much. Now you don't know until the number goes up.
You want to stick around.
So you almost don't want hammer, right? That's extra job.
That's
You
true.
don't want hammer in the first end. You got to try and steal and not worry about the score.
So that's another rule that's a little bit different from the Calgary curling club, where there you designate one person from each team, and they're the only people that can touch the scoreboard.
Up.
And there's nothing wrong with that too. I mean, there's lots of ways because again, if you're only touching the number, no one else should touch that number after you. So theoretically, it's very much the same. And that's the thing, is there isn't an absolute or a one way for any of this. The key is that the way chosen is safe for all. And as we said, Curling Alberta, Curling Canada, the different managers and ice makers across the province came together and really put a lot of thought into it. And so there are a number of ways to approach it. And like we said, we put the lines wider to give you indicators. Not everybody else did that. But as you said, there's plexiglass options too. You can put up little extra barrier of safety. So lots of great things happening. And I think as this thing gets going and more clubs open, we'll find others, and everyone will adapt and take on the best practices just to make sure that our game stays as safe as possible.
So Hodgson tried to come around that center guard and get at those two in the 8-foot. Crashed on the guard.
Looks like it.
Pushed it into the rings, and then Appelman's hit and moved back towards the center.
Yeah.
Once again, we find lots of blue and lots of throws by Team Hodgson to try and remove them. At some point when they have to make a draw, it's going to need some muscle memory. But again, the ice has been consistent. We've been 15, 15, 15. So they've thrown enough draws over the weekend that they should be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Right now, though, trying to remove the blue rock and sit on top of the other just to force some offense.
Whoa.
This is Jared Polniak. Wanting this to curl over. They really want to hit that.
They don't want to lose their shooter here.
Well, they did. They got one out, and they did spin up. And certainly those two blues are in a very double position. Blah, 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 blah. So Ted having to hit this. He really dearly wants to roll in, because should he roll out, there'll be the double available.
Yeah, sticking around there was really important for this reason. It forces Ted to play this hit. If he rolled out, Ted would have probably thrown hard on that shot rock and put lots of pressure on.
And that one, when we look overhead at that, we'll see what.
I believe it's in. It's tough to
hard.
tell. I'm going to say that is in.
Yeah. I don't think it'll change Hodgson's
turn
mind,
again,
but
Ted?
look at that great camera work. Now, you got to remember, we are looking from underneath, but look at that camera work. That is Jamie on the joystick. I tell you, there's nothing he can't do. He just listens to what we say, and he delivers upon it time after time. If I was to say, I wonder what's happening on sheet one, within a minute he'd have me over in the hack and we would see it. I tell you, great camera work. Very appreciative of what the Ulver brothers are doing here. And of course their dad Jim is out there doing the ice, so it's a very much a team affair there. Family affair, I should say.
Clean. Yep.
Clean.
Whoa.
You doing the double or hit behind the roll behind the guard?
I think he's trying to hit and roll here. The line looks looks
Looks like he's got
pretty
a
good for
great throw. Look at that.
fantastic shot.
Finally.
That is
Second
big.
shot, and you could hear him say, finally, there. A little bit of relief that they've made a key shot.
Yeah.
Hard or play the run?
You know, it's great. They're still smiling. You know,
Miss
high
a run,
fives
he
and
hits
that.
his
So
double there.
it's great to see. And yes, finally made a shot, putting some pressure on Ted, which is what they really haven't done yet this game.
I think we
So
cut it
now,
off.
mate, first time Ted's taken more than a couple minutes to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be careful because
Good
if
Air
he
low.
tries to protect the shot rock.
Right on
he's
nose?
leaving a deuce on
Well,
the
you
table.
got across just a hair, right?
I mean for ice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it looks like we're going to get the run back
Touch
here.
more.
Okay. Like you said, this ice has been consistent. These guys know
this-
what
that's the only
what
way
it
to
does.
get
So even
through.
though Ted hasn't thrown a shot like
Do
this
something
tonight,
stupid.
he'll know what it does in this spot.
That was a
So
good shot. I
think
mean,
this will be close.
there's
But
going
if
to
he
be a double
misses-
on my
if he
next one.
misses,
So.
it's going to be an open hit for two for Hodgson.
And I like that the conversation,
Yeah,
like he
let's
says, you know, we don't want to get stupid. You know, if we don't play this, we have a chance to give up on three, and he feels like whatever happens, he'll have a chance at a double. So again, playing the scoreboard and respecting, the other team. It's not Ted Appelman saying, well, we're really great and, whatever. He's respecting the other team to say, you know what, we just can't take that for granted. These teams are really good.
Last thing he wants to do after spending 45 minutes building up a 3-0 lead is to give it all back. But look at
That's
that
right.
roll.
I tell you.
I think,
You know what?
other than making the run double there, that peel and roll to a perfect center card was the next best result.
Why?
And as you just saw them do, even though that's dead
have to
buried,
move
they
that to
know
bring
they
that
can
into
get
play.
to probably half rock with weight and push it back
Yeah.
and sit for
Yeah, they
two.
guard
It
it
just
in
shows you, but it's delicate weight, but looks like they might look to draw around and sit on a corner of it, but they
Yeah.
do know they can get to it with some weight.
Hack here. I think so. Or four.
So over on sheet number 2, Jake's took a 3 spot
you're
in
overburied
3,
on
so
that
they're
turn.
leading 3-2 after 3.
Yeah.
Libis, of course,
You're coming
having
from the right
hammered
hack.
going into 4.
You're overburied on that side.
And I say there's nothing going on in sheet 4. I should say there's a big Curler's
the left
Corner
hack, sorry.
sign, and Bernice and Curler's Corner always supportive of junior curling and adult curling,
Back
and a
there,
lot of curling
Borgia.
clubs around the province. So
What
Bernice,
are you throwing?
we know the Manson team yesterday wanted
I'll
to give
put
a
it in the
shout
middle.
out. I know a lot of teams
Put it
want
in
to
the
give you a
middle.
shout out. Thank you for all you do for curling in Alberta, and we really appreciate your support up here in Banff for everything you've done for us as well. So thank you very much, Bernice and Curler's Corner. You must know Bernice.
I do, yeah. She runs the curling shop there in the Calgary Curling Club. And a number of things from her. As a matter of fact, I actually bought 2 curling stones for my parents from her. My parents had 6. They wanted a set of 8, and I saw Bernice actually had those for sale. So I bought those, and then the next time I flew home, those were my 50-pound luggage. Flew them back and gave them to my parents for Christmas a few years ago.
Right up, hard.
So that's amazing. I got nothing else to say other than that is amazing. So that your parents have 6 stones.
They have 8 now.
They have 8 now. Are they all the same? Are they matched?
No, they're not matched. A couple are. They got some from my grandfather. They found some the same way I did, just kind of stumbling upon some for sale.
And so what do they do with them?
Well, their plan was to kind of move up
I'll just hit and roll.
north of
You
Toronto,
can make
in
both again.
Ontario, on a
Right.
lake, and then ideally in the winter they
Okay.
create a little curling sheet on the lake. But those plans have changed, so now I think they're on their fireplace, and they said
Guys
they'll
like
come
the
to
draw?
me
You like
one
the
day.
draw?
So I'm not sure what I'll do with 8 curling
Yeah.
mats. Maybe I'll donate them to the Banff Curling Club.
Hey, there you go. What I was starting to envision there, Scott, was that you were going to say to me that, like bowling balls,
always
that
throwing
they
control.
would
I
put
don't
them
know
in
if that's
bags and wheel them into the club and bring their own
Their
rocks
own,
to play.
yes.
You don't see that very often. You do in bowling, but not
Yeah.
in curling.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them. They're pretty passionate about curling.
I think that'd be amazing if people showed up with their 2
Yep.
stones.
I
Put 'em
think
on
they-
the
I think they
ice.
used
Hard.
to.
Really gotta go. Really gotta go. Really gotta go. Hard. Hard, hard,
Gotta hit
hard,
and
hard, hard,
roll,
hard.
opportunity here.
I need
Hit and
First
roll
objective
out.
was to get it out
Yeah.
at least. But, Hodgson should be able to get to this. But he is facing
throwing?
3, I'd say.
That-
Has to be a bit careful with this. Don't want to roll out because those
No.
2 biters will come back to bite you.
There you go. And this rock that they're looking at is just a little bit buried. It should be no problem for Hodgson, but that yellow guard will be in his line of sight, but shouldn't come into play.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't factor in, but it always does because you just can't ignore what you can see. Well, Terry Meek just making a really interesting double, and both rocks spinning across. He's now lying 5, so Manson has 2 rocks left here. So obviously still has a chance to get the skips deuce, but facing 5 blues fully buried. Need this one to curl, don't we?
Yeah, this is hanging out.
Well, starting to come with the
weight's
weight's
nice
right.
and controlled though, yeah. Looks
There
like it's
we
gonna
go.
curl up very nicely.
Great throw by Andrew.
Wow, 1 yellow.
It's been waiting to say that all game.
You know what though? Sometimes
sometimes
giving up the
it's-
hammer
it's-
can help. They
it
can
just
try a
hurts you
different
to have it.
strategy. They can be a little bit more aggressive.
Well, you get to throw
throwing
that first rock. You get to
Yeah.
almost dictate the end as
Let it
long as
go,
you
my
make
old
your
boy.
shots. As Mike Libbis would tell me, you know, we can say that because Mike just happens to be in the lounge today. He just can't get enough of Banff. You know, it clears up and he doesn't have an excuse of what to go. He did bring me a coffee. I really appreciated that. Well, actually, it was Carly who brought me the coffee, and I really appreciate her. And I guess if that means Mike gets to sit in the lounge, Scott, well, Mike gets to sit in the lounge.
That's right. That's the price of admission.
Well, back to our game. We've got our feature match now. We've got Appelman playing against Hodgson. Hodgson just getting on the board, getting their first. It's a 3-1 game. Appelman gets the hammer for the first time. Let's see what happens. Is the hammer the jinx, or is it the play? But certainly Appelman has been in control this game, but they've played extremely well. Take nothing away from what Hodgson's doing. He's been just chasing, and so you know that if they get a chance to get out in front like they are here, then perhaps things will change around. And if Appelman has to start chasing, maybe that'll force a few errors. But right now, certainly Appelman in control of this game.
Yeah, nice center guard there.
Wing-a-wing.
And all it will take is kind of one mistake from the Appelman team, and Hodgson might be able to, steal their way back
T-line.
into this. So it won't take much. Still a close game, 3-1.
T-line.
But Appelman having hammer, this could be a key end. If he takes two or more here, then he'll be in real control.
Of course, Appelman, as we know, playing out of the Avon Club in Edmonton, and Team Hodgson out of Airdrie. Airdrie hosting an event last week, the McKee event, very successful one. Lots of great teams there too. And coming up in a few weeks, in early November, after this one, is the second installment of the ATB Slam that we're calling it. We've gone from classic to slam. And that'll be Mike Libbis and the group there in Okotoks. They've got the live streaming. They've got 16 teams coming. And that will be the Okotoks, the ATB Okotoks Slam, spelled with a Z. We don't want to confuse our viewers with what a slam and a slam is, but certainly I know they'll do a great job there, and we'll have 2 great champions. And the trophy is just beautiful that ATB's put together for us, and really excited. And I know the players will be to get a hold of it. While there is money up for stake, we have 4 teams that'll walk away with money: 9,000 for first, 6,000 for second, and 2 with 4. They want the win, and those points will help them earn a spot in the provincial championship and avoid that play down that anything can happen in.
Yeah, it's really important for some of these top teams to get that bye to provincials.
It's going to be a
We've
beautiful
seen in some
double
other
peel.
provinces that don't have the buys or didn't have the buys in previous years, and top teams can stumble along the way, and then they don't get back. And when really it's unfortunate to not have your best teams at the provincial championship. So for teams like Cooey, Rocher, Appelman,
Yeah, it'll be
some
same
of
speed here.
the others, that's really what they're shooting for.
100%. And what happens there too is it's they play in a lot of arenas, and they play in the same sort of similar clubs that they're used to playing in, and all of a sudden they're going somewhere they've never been, new rocks, new ice. It isn't an obvious win for someone because of that.
Yeah. So they're trying to come around here, and it looks like they're light here. So this could be the mistake that Hodgson was looking for. He's now going to have 3 center guards. 2 of them are his, and an opportunity to come around.
Well, looks like we have a final over on sheet 1. We're going to see the score go up.
Come around.
Manson was drawing against 5, and he came up short. Not sure what happened. Unfortunately, we didn't see it. It might have hit something. It could have rubbed on a guard, but nevertheless, Meek scores a 10-2 win after 4. They have tap rooms. We won't say shake hands. They tap rooms. That means that Meek moves on. He's waiting to see who the winner of Libis and Jakes will be, and that's who he will face at 4 p.m. tonight. Chance to go get some sleep, I think, in between. That was an early morning for them.
Maybe back 4.
Back 4.
You know, that's the one thing when you get into the
Back
C
8.
event, of course, is it's a journeyman's game now. You've been playing on Thursday, you played on Friday, and then you've got a long road Saturday. The benefit to it, though, of course, is you keep the momentum, you keep warm, you keep confidence going, and that can certainly play a factor from someone who's got to take a full day off, especially where we don't have time to allow those other teams to come and practice in between, because we are full on. People were here from 7 in the morning to get ready, and they'll be here till almost 11 at night.
It's a full day of curling today, and you mentioned Cooey at provincials there. Was it last year or the year before he came through the C, and that's what happens. You play a few games, you get hot, and you ride that momentum. So some of these teams.
Just got to get 2.
Terry Meek obviously has moved on. He's going to play at 4 o'clock, then again at 8 if he wins. So he's hoping to keep that momentum going.
I thought the way you started that, you were going to say that you beat him.
Hard.
Have you played Cooey?
I have never played Cooey, no.
He got the jam in the back, so there's a bit of an opening. Certainly putting some pressure on. A bit unlucky there. He threw that really well, Ted. It just nose to nose. So
sink another one,
still Hodgson, might as well go in again. Ted does have that one rock in the 12-foot that he's hoping to bring back into play. But with staggered guards, 3 out front, 1 on the tee line, this is a golden opportunity for Hodgson.
Yeah, Appelman knows, though. He's got that same run back. He just threw it, same ice. And so this time, though, he's running a blue in, not a yellow. There we go, Blake Johnson. He's from Okotoks. I know he's playing at Ameritree with his team. He actually played with my son Desmond a number of years ago. Front end, great sweeper. We called them Huff and Puff.
Yeah.
Blake and Dale, and they huffed and they puffed. And if you ever mic'd them up, you would have found that. But just great effort, great throwers, and just great family. I really enjoyed the time we spent, and you do spend a lot of time with the families in the arenas, and as parents, we spend a good chunk of time worrying together, shaking our legs and pacing the floors, and but all out of the love of the sport and our kids, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And your son is out here right now. He's on sheet 2.
I think you can get him all to go.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's the privilege of playing third for Team Jakes and being part of the U of A program and playing in the university. Not this year, obviously, because the university Canadians have been canceled due to COVID, a precaution, and understandable so. But they still are very fortunate in the sport of curling that the teams have these leagues to play in. And so even without the university stuff, there's these U25s and these adult events that they can participate in, so they don't lose an entire season.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I know Desmond was Alberta Junior Champion 2 years ago, I believe it was. So him and Team Jakes certainly have the horses to make a run here this afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to get to see them here on the live stream at some point this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, if they can just keep winning.
That's the key down there in C. So
that's right, because we will not see. We will see in the championship. So it'll take 3 wins to get on the TV and something to shoot for.
Yeah.
I know that the grandma would really like that, in case she's out watching.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I know, Steve, you put me on the live stream in the Qualico mixed doubles a couple of years ago against Brett Gallant and Jocelyn Peterman, and my wife Becky and I. Despite coming into that game 1-0, we certainly didn't look like a 1-0 team, and we were off the live stream pretty quickly.
Well, Scott, maybe as we've watched these shots come down, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, the Qualico mixed event and an event like this where the top teams are here and a chance to play against. What was it like to play against Brett and Jocelyn? Obviously, they're Canadian champions and in that discipline. And what was it like, and how were they like?
Yeah, it was a great experience, and you watch them on TV, and then you think they might be this type of person or that type of person. And then when you get out there on the ice and talk to them more personal way.
Probably
Yeah.
roll out though.
You know, you really get a true sense of who they are, and they were a delight to play against, even though they beat
No,
us
they're all
soundly.
in.
They were humble
I think
about
so.
it, and you know, we talked about the
I think
ice
hack.
box and the format after the game. So it was a joy to play against them, and you know, obviously,
Yeah, I guess.
having
Okay,
played 2
board.
years, I played a number of other top curlers in that format as well. I played Matt Wozniak both years. I've had pretty good games against him, but he's obviously also beat me twice in a row.
But I'm sure if he was on doing commentating, Scott, he would remember.
he would.
He would tell
yes.
me about the close
Yeah,
games you had,
that's
for sure.
right, yeah. Yeah, so I played the first year of that with my wife. You know, but we have 3 kids under 5 right now. So last year she decided to take the year off.
Whoa,
and
whoa.
I played with Melanie Puzzy, a new partner in the mixed doubles. So we'll see. Hoping to come back this year, but I know it's full of top teams and really everybody wants to be there. So.
Well, the way COVID's going, you know, it's sort of uncertain as to, you know, what's going to happen with Saskatchewan curlers, even Ontario, Quebec curlers, and curlers from the international. So, you know, we'll see. The commitment we've made and the commitment the sponsors made is to host the event, even if it's just an Alberta event. And we do have a large number of teams from Alberta that we know we can fill it with. And we'll be making that decision here in 2 weeks, not to make you worry or anything, Scott, but
Let's just do this.
Yeah.
you know, we do think there'll be a bit of a shakeup. We also want to be responsible. So not only, you know, is there an enablement factor from the government and health services, there's also the responsible factor.
I like it.
This is our community,
That's
it's our valley, and it's our friends and family, and sometimes you're allowed to do something, but if it doesn't feel safe or isn't the right thing to do, then you know, we certainly want to factor that in. And that's what's important, because we want curling to stay safe. So lots of decisions to be made, but for right now, we're going to watch a tremendous curling game, and Nathan Conley making a massive shot there to really help Appelman get out of a jam. And we'll see, though, if Jared Palniak can respond here.
Room. Balls.
Room.
Clean.
Lots of room.
Clean. Balls. Yep.
Lots of room. Lots of room. Lots of room.
So Ron Fell just asked us a question about whether there's a schedule. Ron, I am not a technical person, but I'm going to try and guide you through this. If you look at this stream, there is something called a
Try the same
description.
shot or go
Little arrow button down. If you click on that, it'll give you our entire
like same
live
shot. It's
streaming schedule. You'll see, and just to give you a bit of a heads there, in the Alberta time, that is the mountain time, we are playing today at 8 in the morning, 12 p.m. We're playing 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. They're all 4 hours apart, so just do plus 4, plus 4. That's 8 this morning, 12, 4, and 8. Tomorrow, we've got the championships, the semis and the finals. Tomorrow, that's at 10 a.m. and then again at 2 p.m. But again, you can click on the description underneath the live stream on YouTube, and you can get that entire schedule. But thanks for asking, Ron, and if anybody else was wondering, there's your answer.
I can see Ron on the comments there. Ron is in Mexico, and he's getting ready to head to the beach, so that's why he wants to know the schedule, when to go to the beach, when to come back in and watch some curling. But Ron, if I were you, I might just spend a little bit more time on the beach.
Ron, let us know if you're able to get the Wi-Fi down to the beach. Maybe you could be watching curling on the beach. That would be a wonderful thing for us to share, that we've got curlers on the beach watching our live stream.
Yeah. And Ron, the full schedule and scores, I believe, are also on Curling Zone. Is that?
That's correct. We are keeping that updated and making sure that, you know, Jerry Gertz, and thank you, Jerry, always there to help out events and curlers. Just a great little app there, and we really appreciate Jerry's support. So you can always get up to date on scores and the like by following on Curling Zone 2.
So it looks like Appelman.
So looking for about a 15 out here.
Looks like Appelman is sitting 1, the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, pretty simple.
We've got a center line guard, but Hodgson probably sitting 2-3. So looking to capitalize here on having a few more rocks in play than he has the first few ends.
Well, and finally has a chance to generate some good opens here. And as I said, now that he's putting the pressure on Apple, maybe he just had to get rid of the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll tell him not to bring a toolkit ever to these types of events.
Yep. Hard.
It's got to
hard.
go. Got to go. They
Yeah,
got to
they
drag this one
gotta
as
get
far
this
as they
one in
can.
there. He's gonna stagger those guards
Not
a
the same
bit,
way, though.
leave Appelman shot.
Definitely heavier out there.
But he does have that out-turn tap right now.
And he has that straight run back,
Yeah.
too.
6-3.
Yeah, so Appelman still has to be careful here.
Let's hear what they say.
And then we hit for one.
I think there's enough space
We go
that
here.
Appelman could, or Hodgson can throw that out-turn tap,
you got?
get
That's
rid
not
of the
bad.
blue, and sit 2 or
Right
3.
there.
He's got the outturn tap.
That's, I think we have an in off for 3. Just can't be,
Yeah, I like this better.
even if we're here. And
Well,
he taps it, then
taps
just come
easy.
off of that for 3.
I think you come, like you said, your first call.
Just, well, you won't leave him the door. Just to here.
That's,
Well, half into 4 is pretty good, right? Yeah, and then that takes away this. Well, but then it's off for, yeah, or draw for 1. Yeah, I think so.
do we need to bury this? Like, what
Well-
about? I don't know if you can get here, but
Well, if you, then that just makes. I was thinking if you can get it to here.
They're trying to get another rock into the 4-foot
and then you try
here,
that.
or close
is
to,
gonna be
but
easier than
also
this.
maybe try to choke off that tap
I
from
know.
Hodgson a bit. They are worried about that, so they're trying to deal with that.
I think
Because right now that in-turn draws
Yeah, I
there, that
think so.
out-turn taps there for Hodgson. So
which would be ideal.
Appelman
Yeah.
trying to keep the pressure
Yeah.
on by getting one in there in the right spot.
yeah,
No.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I think, Scott, you're obviously a very
Half in the
knowledgeable
four would be
person,
good.
but there's no better person than having Ted Appelman and Conley there tell us their thoughts. And it's nice how they don't just tell us about this shot. They kind of walk us through the process
I
of how
guess-
they got there. And they always call this game chess on ice because you really do have to look a few
Yeah.
shots forward to see how will this progress
Yeah.
and how will it get to where we want it to be.
Yeah, you could hear him talking about the possibility of coming off that blue one in the 12-foot, if this, then that. So they are thinking, 2 and 3 shots ahead.
Well, shots
Lots
underway.
of
We
room.
know it comes off this side. We
Lots of
know
room.
it will hook
Line
in
is
with the
pretty
right weight.
Line's good.
line's good. Doesn't need to curl. Doesn't need to curl. Just touch the 4.
Gotta go. Hard.
Wait only. Wait only. Wait only.
Oh, great shot in there.
Good shot.
Absolutely.
No, a big turnaround with that one miss, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little deeper than they wanted though now. Hodgson's got the opportunity to tap that onto the one Appelman
do
just there,
this.
and if he sticks it there,
He's playing the double.
then Appelman will have to come off that one on the 12-foot that he left for that reason.
Okay. I think that's still our shot, eh?
Yeah. What are you playing it with?
Same way you're probably back line here.
Okay. At
Still
least
has that
like
run
to get
back,
this
but I guess
secure,
this is the
so
less
they're only getting 2 if he makes
riskier
it.
of the shots because that run back a little off could
so you wanna
split
go
your own
forward?
yellow out
Yeah.
and give them a draw for 4. Something you wouldn't want to
Here.
do. I still have to be careful with this. Doesn't want to play
Yeah, you're
with
gonna
too
have
much
to nut
weight
it and
because
Yeah.
Or at least hit a little low side.
Yeah.
he still is in a delicate situation here. He should have his shooter stay around and be third shot, and he should be able to get first shot out of it with some backing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that'll give him at least the catcher to avoid a big end.
Yeah, weight's critical here, and keeping the one that he taps, on or near the button. If he throws too much weight and it spills out, it could be problematic. So a good opportunity, but also has to be pretty careful to make sure he doesn't give up big end.
100%.
Yep. Hard.
Well, sounds like it's tight
All
out
the
of
way,
his
hard.
hand. He swept it as soon as he let
They're
go.
holding it.
They really are.
It's that extra weight, right? Now it needs to curl a little bit for them.
Yeah, the Wind's really good.
Great shot, and that will stick around for third. It'll be flat, so great result there.
Yeah. First and third, fully under cover.
As he's saying, probably a thick half. No. Still scores 2.
Yep.
No real risk here other than giving up the 1, though. So, you know, it'd be
Yeah,
very, I don't know how he'd skinny that and knock his own out and give up more than
He'd have to be pretty unlucky to hit his own and not jam it somewhere on the back. So.
But this is what he called. He said, I'm going to have a shot for 2 coming off the 12. And like we say, chess on ice, this is how he chose to play it. And he knew this is what the outcome would be. And here we are. It just goes to show you how knowledgeable these players are about what the outcomes can be and what has to happen.
Yeah.
A soothsayer, as they'd say.
No, never. No.
It's like it needs to curl a bit. It's got to get just across that 5-foot line, as you mentioned. Ooh, and he almost did skinny it onto his own.
Yeah, you should almost jinx that one there. So look, Hodgson, he gets rid of the hammer and he gets another point. So certainly a lot of pressure being put on by Hodgson. They made some really good shots there, and bit of a turnaround. There were 5 ends in. It's 3-2 for Appelman. Still in control. He's got the hammer and he is playing an even. So technically 2 scores to 1, but still a lot can happen.
I'm not sure if we updated the score on sheet 2. It looks like that game was all tied up through 4 ends.
All tied up, and Jake's sitting with hammers. They play in 5. So basically, they could have slept in for another hour and just come out and played a 4-end game. But what fun would that be, Scott? What fun would that be?
That's right.
Well, Ron wrote us back, and he said, you know what? It might kill my data plan, but I'll do it for fun, he said. So, Ron, that's up to you. I don't want you to kill your data plan. I don't want to cost you money. And that obviously, we'll leave that one up to you. But great to have you on from Mexico. Great to know that while you're down in the sun enjoying a lovely time, curling is still on your mind. Well, we'll get underway here in 5.
Tight.
6. We are
tight's good.
6. Whoa.
It's flying
of course,
halfway.
great camera work here. We're being shown what's happening over on sheet 2. That's Jake's playing Yellow Rocks. A nice draw down by Desmond Young, right on top of the rock in the back 4. So certainly some room, though, for Libas to come down and weld one on his shot. So great game over there, back and forth seesaw, and 2 great young teams with great futures and great presence now as well. And that's just a great little sample of the camera action that we're getting from our technical director and cameraman to be able to bring us adjacent sheets while we have a bit of a lag in our game and a bit of a delay. So thank you very much to Jamie, and thank you very much to Thomas. And let's not forget over here on the audio, keeping our ears safe, but also making sure you can hear the right information is Annette Young. And you know, there's somebody I've forgotten to talk about throughout this entire broadcast, and I should apologize, and that's Saxby Young. Yes, he's a relative, but he's the one who 2 years ago put this entire project together, gave us the specs, and he's built it from scratch up. Done a tremendous job, and in fact, he's not here with us with COVID. He's over in Finland where he's at school. But I tell you, he's been up during the nights and up during the day, and we've been in contact with him, and he's been walking us through. And without his help, I'm sure we would all be somewhere else and not bringing you this great live stream. So thank you very much, Saxby, for all your continued work. 30 hours of training with us to try and get us ready to do this. And obviously the product that we're seeing is a result of your great effort and work and energy from way far away. 9 hours difference. So we'll talk to you at 3 in the morning your time when we call you about our next problem. Anyway, Scott, back to our game. And again, Scott Moncur, let's not forget that. From Cochrane, he drove all the way up just to be able to give us 4 great commentary draws today. Very knowledgeable and good curler. Like he said, he plays against some of these teams. He has team meet coming up on Monday in his Monday Night League, and he's certainly familiar with these players. So great to have that knowledge and wisdom, and of course, Scott's knowledge and wisdom about the game. So thank you again, Scott, for being with us.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the day, and we've been treated with a great draw this morning. A tight battle. Hodgson without the hammer here in 6.
Real strong.
With the center guard.
How much?
Appelman came right around it, and Hodgson tried to
Hard.
Take it across.
Trying to
Yep,
freeze.
Yep.
Hard.
Now Appelman.
Right onto it.
This looks like it floated a bit on him. Not the result they were looking for. But Hodgson, last couple ends. Look like they've got their confidence back.
I say the hammer may be a jinx. And we've seen that in games sometimes. You know, when you throw first, you don't have the advantage of last rock. But if you can make those shots, you do get to dictate the end a bit, and you do get to usually drive what's going to happen. And as long as you keep executing, ultimately you're putting pressure on. So great job by Hodgson. You know, I know they're frustrated in those first 3 ends, not being able to generate anything, but certainly now kind of putting Appelman back to where he felt.
Tight, top 12.
Yeah, tight top 12.
But this one is a bit tight. They're going to have to go.
In this spot, though, they've been able to
There.
hold some draws out there. So
Tight, tight, top 12.
looks like they're trying to kind of
Oh, no, we're just tight, we're
bury
just tight.
three-quarter bury around that
We're just
center there,
tight.
but keep it high. And and they lost it. It looked like it actually just dug and dove there.
I always got to keep a broom down.
Mm-hmm. So Appelman is not going to waste any time. He's going to try and open up this front.
What's that?
Have to do it delicately, though. I believe we're. No, we are. We're onto the 6th rock of the end, so I expect to see a double peel or drive this into the house.
Whoa. 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 Yep.
Oh,
Oh, and in between.
that's the one result you didn't really want. You wanted to just touch that top one or pick the other one out.
But still pretty clear path to the button if needed. So not in any real trouble yet.
Can't really get a whole lot of stuff.
Definitely Hodgson dictating how this end is going.
Just sweep it for what?
Aim for high.
I don't mind still going the same turn. We know it now.
So they're going to throw the wide in turn.
That is true.
I suppose out turn for the lefty. Because they know it well. So the other turn would be a little bit more natural to bury something. But they know this spot, so they feel confident.
All right, hard on it early.
Yeah, you
yep,
gotta go.
Yep.
Got to keep it
That
out
one's
there.
got a little
It's
inside there.
really tight.
Okay, weight's good. We're there.
Well,
We're
they're
there.
probably going to bring this by that one. And
We're there.
We're on the sign. We're on the sign.
oh, there we go. Well,
Beauty. Nice
great
throw.
shot.
Good job, guys.
They were a little concerned about it, but I think
Yeah.
with
It
the
was
weight
there,
and
you're
it
right.
stopping up top.
It's there.
Appelman lining up that double peel.
Yeah.
What do we need, third?
He makes this and probably moving towards the
Taking
blank
the
end.
thick way.
Yep.
Oh, well, it was an in-betweener last time, a
Yeah.
jammer this time.
You needed it to curl just a little bit more. So it's just overswept a bit.
Might be able to throw easier to throw the guard the other turn, but do you want to just keep the same one?
It's got some, obviously, great to see, you know, keep the humor going in the middle of these tense games.
High?
Hi.
I think they're worried about how they can keep this guard on that side of the sheet with this turn. So
Well, the right answer may be to come the other way.
yeah.
Hard on it early, Blake.
Get a little wider.
Okay, go tight, Ben. That's fine. Top 12's fine, guys. Yep. Okay, line's really good.
Really good line. Well, they found a way, Scott. They were worried
did.
about it.
Yeah.
Trying to make this double peel, though, not easier than that's going to overcurl a bit, though. Still a really good throw.
Good sweep, guys.
Still got
Yeah.
the staggered. Appelman will probably still run those two. I
Think
don't
he
think
will.
he'll
Chance.
want to pick it, but
How much is it?
Chance it could run it into the one in the house too.
Three
How much am I
quarters.
hitting?
Well, I think, yeah, if he
How much
can,
do I hit
if
it?
he can cut it across, catch half of that yellow
Yeah.
up top, I think he can get it. So over on sheet 2, Jake's making a nice little touch shot here with some weight, scoring 1, so they'll go up by 1. It'll be 5-4
Hard. Hard.
after
Hard.
5 ends.
Hard. Hard.
This looks really close.
Does, and on our
Oh.
sheet, you know what? They got the double peel. They
Objective
may not,
1.
Yeah, they may not have been going too hard to get the one in the house because they wanted to make sure they got that double peel. So nothing out front now.
Halfway.
And just the one rock in the house. So no real danger for Apple.
No. They had the betweener, they had the nose, and then they got the double.
Yeah.
Persistence.
So Hodgson will try to guard this. Keep Appelman busy up front peeling that center guard and hope to force him into a tough draw to the full 4.
Halfway's nice. Line's really good. I like this rock. 2's good. 2's good.
So we want this right in
Line's
front
really
of the
good.
rock
Yep,
in the house. Line
Whoa,
looks pretty
whoa,
good.
whoa. Sit.
And they'll want to keep some distance between that and the shot rock to make the run back a little bit harder. 'Cause given the situation, Appelman with the lead and the hammer, I don't think he'll chase that. But based on what he's doing here now,
Like
I
hack?
could be wrong.
Yeah, I probably get to the nose with hack.
I don't know about nose, but I think hack's fine.
Okay, so they are going to chase this. They feel that that guard's high enough.
Hack,
So
right?
hack weight.
Yep.
Try to get it out and probably roll out in the open.
Yep.
Real tight. Yep.
Hard. Hard. Whoa.
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 Line looks pretty good.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Hard, Kev. Hard.
Go,
Right
Kev.
to it.
Go.
Right to it, right to it, right to it, right to it.
Great line. As long as he's got enough weight to kill this, it's going to be a terrific shot.
It's good.
He doesn't quite, but he's opened up the 4 foot. Hodgson has to
Yeah.
deal with this rock in the 8 foot.
10.
Yeah.
Andrew.
9?
10.
9?
He can
9, okay.
nose this or roll out just a hair, but stick around. Looks like a forced to Appelman,
Sorry, what was that, Blake?
which is probably what Hodgson was hoping for. Get that hammer back and try to tie it up in the 7th.
I think we still need a hair more, Jared.
Huh?
At least edge your rock, yeah.
Clean. Just clean. Whoa,
It's
whoa.
a good sign when you hear clean out
Whoa.
of the third's mouth when you let go of the rock.
Yeah, a little bit, but like, yep.
I do want to stick around here. They'll roll out.
That's what you get for throwing
We'll see what
9.
Appelman does. Is he going to go hard for the 2 and try and come around that guard himself? And that looks to be his first instinct here.
Yeah, looks like he's going to try and generate that
Ooh,
skips
like
deuce.
that.
He's going to ignore that back one.
I
And
don't think he's going to draw around.
If you're like full 12,
Yeah.
you'll probably.
Then he'll
You
try
have
and
to
draw
draw,
around.
Another
right?
option would be to hit that rock in
How
the 12
times is
foot.
hard, it comes with the side or something.
You know,
So just
keep the
tap and
blank
wait.
alive, but I think you'd see Hodgson come around
Okay.
the guard himself. So Appelman's going to try and beat him there.
Yeah, I agree.
Try and get
Yeah.
that skipped deuce that you were talking about earlier.
yeah, you had the chance to try and reset, but I think you're 2-1, and you know you've seen this in games where the team without last rock throws that one last center guard, and all of a sudden the other skip says, "I got a 2-1 shot here. Why wouldn't I go for it?" And that's what you're seeing Appelman do. And the other thing is he knows he's going to have to draw on his last one,
Yeah.
so you might as well get the weight, get the line, feel good about it. So he's probably looking at trying to put this top 4.
Yeah, they talked about it being higher wasn't too bad because Hodgson wouldn't be able to get around it, and it would be tougher to get at with the high guard. So they were talking kind of full top 12 as a possibility. But yeah, I think biting the 4 foot full 8 would be a pretty good spot.
Line's good. Lots of room right now.
They like the line. They like the weight. You can see them both going at it now.
Lots of line.
It's Tim and Appelman taking it.
Kev.
Lots of room to
Off of
move,
the
so
eight,
they
guys.
do the switch, as we know,
Gotta
to
go,
try
gotta
and
go.
drive
Buried
that in.
something here.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of
Go,
curling
Kev,
to
go,
do,
go,
and
go, go, go,
they're
go,
gonna want to
go,
make
go,
sure
go,
it's
go,
shot
go,
rock,
go, go.
which it is.
Well,
Got a little
you'll-
piece behind, but probably a little bit too much ice for the shot
Yeah,
that they
but
really
that
want.
jam. I mean, if you get a little bit too,
Here.
leave a little too much room here, you could jam that on the back
Yeah.
one. I mean, so it's not that
Might
bad.
run a hair
Sometimes when you
straight.
see a piece, it's actually a bit tougher.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he can get to nose here if he throws the right weight. Like you said last time, that's what you get when you throw a 9. So I don't think we'll be seeing a heavy weight. I think we'll see a nice, I think he said board, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think he means he's bored. I think he's just going to throw board.
A nose hit here would be ideal. It would make the out turn draw for Appelman a little bit tougher.
a hair more, I
Might
think,
force him to
Jared.
think about the in turn. So just a reminder at
Clean.
12 o'clock Mountain Time.
Whoa,
here,
whoa,
we'll have
whoa.
Kennedy versus Botcher.
Clean. Yep.
That'll be our second time seeing Botcher and second time seeing Kennedy, actually, too. So great shot by Andrew Hodgson here.
Yeah,
Had
right
a-
on the nose.
My son started playing juvenile curling. Andrew's one of the top teams, and it was a pleasure to watch him back then, and it's great to see him still curling. And Jared Polniak, again, he had a great juvenile career and some juniors and had some strong teams and just some great curlers out here. So it's really nice to see, and nice to see them keeping to play in the adult and the U25 stuff, and not giving up on the sport. So great to see and have them out here.
Absolutely, and great to see. It looks like they have some family members watching on the live stream there for Team Hodgson, and I'm sure every team has some fans, friends, and family watching. So thanks for tuning
Line's
in.
good.
20 more, Tom.
Yeah, we're glad we were
Line's
able to
good, too.
bring you a close game here this morning.
Easy.
Yes, and that's the
Line's
Polniaks who
good.
wrote us a little note there, just thanking for the coverage. And thank you, because I'm not mistaken, and I hope I'm not. I believe a lot of the photos we've seen over the years of the teams and the curlers have come from Mrs. Polniak
judge.
and some of the work that she's done at these events. So certainly a great family affair and family eventing and sharing, and just a great community, not just for these kids to enjoy and play with each other, but for the parents, because you know, when you're on the road a lot and traveling around, staying in hotels, it's great to have that camaraderie ship, even when they're on the opposing team.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Competition on the ice, but it's always friendly after. And speaking of on the ice, Appelman did make that draw for one, so he is up to playing the 7th, and Hodgson will have the hammer. So really, we're still in for a good battle here down the stretch.
Well, the cameramen are going to bring us third shots here over on sheet 2 while we wait for this end to reset here. Looks like Jakes is sitting one in the back, and Lippis has one buried. We're just going to draw around to it, put it on the edge, try and remove it as a potential scorer later.
You're trying to make it curl a little bit, try and get it a little under, but
Just
it
making
is
sure you're
shot
on the
rock.
same page.
Yeah.
This is something that Team Lippis is going to have to deal with.
Back to our feature game, we've got Tim.
Pretty good.
Not Tim first name, Mr. Tim.
Line's good.
Throwing a first stone to get us going in this end.
We go in and then guard it. It's harder. to guard
They've
it.
had a
I would
great
go
game
too
this
in.
front end for Appelman. They've really set the tone early on, and they've played
good.
tremendous throughout.
It's a curling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Skis, good throw, Kev.
Tim has thrown a number of these centerline guards, perfect depth, and really let Appelman stay aggressive. And I think that's what we're going to see here.
Scott, let's get your thoughts and opinion. I mean, in talking to Mike yesterday, you know,
Pardon
one
me?
of the potential future rules being talked
I like a
about, the
corner.
elimination of the tick, or the if your rock's touching the center
Feel like he
line,
just
then you get
hits.
rewarded by not allowing people to move it. What are some of your thoughts on the game? Do you think we've hit the right tone right now for how the 5 rock is working and still allowing some of those aggressive tick moves and that, or do you think there's more changes in the future that you'd
Halfway.
like to see or that you've heard about?
Yeah. A little bit of both will be my answer. I think we're in a really good spot. I think we're seeing it right here. Appelman's got a 2-point lead, and he's throwing a guard. Previously, he probably would have gone in.
Halfway's good.
because he knows he can throw a few before anything can happen. In terms of the tick shot changing, I'm certain it will. I don't necessarily think it needs to just yet, but to your point, anything touching the center line, maybe not being able to move
Nice
that
throw.
during
I like
the
it.
free guard zone. I'm sure we'll see that down the road, and but I do think we're in a good spot here. You know, I enjoy it. I'm still getting used to the 5 rock rule, right? You know, after playing 4 rock forever, 5 rock rule is a little bit different, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm an all-out aggressive
feet.
guy, so
Yeah,
5
line's good.
rock, 8 rock
we can
rule
wait a
would be
bit.
good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think we have to be careful in our
Top
sport,
four.
though. I mean, there's been a lot of great innovations, and I think mixed doubles was a really good one, but it also showed what happens when you get a lot of rocks in play, which is what that generates in offense. And I do think, though, you know, if you tinker every year, at some point, you know, you start to lose people. So I think at some point, some consistency, and also let it kind of live out a little bit here, and let it sort of show itself over a few years. And also, the tick wasn't there before, and now it's used. And, you know, I think the curlers will innovate themselves. So whatever you throw at them, they're going to find a way. So
Absolutely.
and it's not an easy shot.
Yeah, the tick was, from my memory, originally mastered by Steve Gould on Team Stoughton, and then it wasn't done for a while until Lisa Weigel and Team Bowman really
I like line.
really
Wait
brought
on
it to
me.
the women's game. But
Top 12's good.
you know, not every lead has it as a
Tight,
shot.
tight,
So,
tight.
so I think until it's an
Top 12.
automatic that it's going to be made, I don't think a change needs to be made.
And is you know, is that where the saying "that's gold, Johnny" came from? Because I think they said that's Gould, and people just thought that was a misspelling, and it became that's gold now.
It could be.
That tick, that's gold. But they really meant to say that's Gould.
Yeah.
So Steve Gould, thank you very much for bringing that to us, and I guess Stoughton, thank you very
Yeah.
much for making them throw it all this time, and then Lisa Weigel, thanks for perfecting it and making it a very, very, I guess, useful shot in our games. So certainly some great athletes we just talked about there, making that tick work.
And it can be done different ways. If
Good.
memory serves me
Good weight.
correct, Gould used to play it across the face, and Weigel plays into the rock. So a couple different ways to make sure you to keep your shooter around, but move that rock up the center.
That's right.
Gonna hit and try and roll behind the guard here.
Great shot, Tom.
Looks fantastic.
Absolutely pistol shot that was. Perfect roll. Get a little giggle out of Andrew from that too.
I think you got to just get rid of it, eh? Just
Might as
straight
well.
heel.
Yeah.
This Appelman team seems to stay pretty even keeled out there. You know, make some great shots. You don't see a ton of emotion, and the other way they, gave up a steal there in the 5th and didn't see a ton of emotion that way. So.
And if they get on a roll here, like we said, they're a top team. And if they can find some rhythm and keep this going, they'll get tough when they get in the championship. Of course, don't want to get ahead of ourselves. If you're in the C right now, you need 3 to go and 3 long days to go.
Yeah, and they're in a battle here with Team
Good
Hodgson,
roll.
who's given them everything they can so
very
far.
good.
But if they keep making shots like that last one, it'll be it bodes
that
well
last-
for their day today.
10 feet or so.
The
Got
only
that,
thing
like,
not
extra
going
inch.
for Appelman right now is he's got hammer.
Yeah.
No one has scored. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Once.
Once. Hodgson is the only
Yeah.
one in the 4th they scored with hammer. Outside of that, it's been a real criminal game, as they'd say.
Yeah. I guess Appelman responded in the last end with a draw for 1 with the hammer. So they've each successfully done it once, but 7 ends into a game. That's not a great ratio.
No. But it also shows you the 5 rock rule works.
Yeah.
Forced to get rocks in play,
And we haven't seen a tick shot to your point. Maybe one early in the game.
last night we didn't really see them till later on. Benny, Kevin had them throw some ticks, but their ticks weren't even ticks. It was more pushing it into the house to enable them to take it out
Hit
next
on the
time,
next
which
one.
is another strategy that came from the mixed doubles.
Yeah.
And that was one of the defenses for the
Down
power
to
plays,
7th
especially.
end.
You'd come down and
We
push
try
it
again
in.
in next end if we really want.
Huh?
We can
And
try
here
for
you've
2 in
got
the next end.
Hodgson, they're down 2, they're playing 7. Do they stay aggressive on it? Obviously, Appelman's decided to get rid of that corner
So
guard
10.
because they see the danger, and looks like we're probably going to work towards a blanket.
Yeah, I think Hodgson realizes getting to the halfway point in the end, it's not setting up the way he wanted. So I think he's going to try to blank here and come home down 2 with the hammer, and then probably go all in, see if he can get a 2 or even a 3.
Whoa. Never.
8.
Never. Whoa. Whoa.
This has got to curl. He's going to get the top one only. So Appelman's going to continue to split the rings here. He's going to go way over to the side.
What did you call
Yep.
for?
Try to find a spot. Maybe they haven't played that much where Team Hodgson won't know the ice for the hit. So
Once
Yeah,
you get
somebody
outside that,
should run
won't
there,
call it
yeah.
the 4 foot line anymore. We'll call it the 5 foot line. You know, things can happen different. It's harder to be so precise. The key here, though, is to get it in the rings. There we go. Great camera work. 4-2, Appelman. Hodgson, though, has the hammer. I know they just wanted to show that switch. You know, they do that on television, and they were talking about it earlier. Let's show the switch on the TV.
good,
So
good.
that wasn't a
Still 12.
mistake.
Good
That was
save.
just a demonstration of the talent and ability of our camera crew to make those switches on the fly. Great job. We call that the Ulver switch. All right, well, he did a pretty good job there. It's really not a double. He can take it on, though, and roll out.
yeah.
Well, just 09.
There's probably no downside to trying it.
But
And he's talking as well about hitting and rolling in front, which will actually put a little bit of pressure back on Appelman to be a little bit delicate with his next one. Looks like that's what they've gone with.
almost forces him to hit and roll out, which allows you to blank. So I like this, too, because if they threw it wrong, you get the jam, and then they can get the 2 back in play, right? And I think they would prefer to score 2 here because it gives them a chance to steal. If they score 2 next end, go into an extra without. But more options, I think, if you can drive a deuce this end rather than next.
I think so too. Yeah, you know, if they can tie the game here, we've seen, and we just talked about the success of stealing in this game. I think they'd be pretty happy tied without, as opposed to trying to get 3 with the hammer in a game that hasn't seen a multiple score yet. So.
Yep.
Clean.
Yes.
I'm just looking outside, and I noticed that the sun has come up since we first started this live stream, and although I can still see the snow clouds, it's a beautiful day out there in Banff, and for anyone that's been to this club knows just how special this place is.
Yeah. Last night when I left here, it was dark, and I almost couldn't find my car in the snowbank. And it's not
Just
because I
keep
drove it
that
in the
dosing.
snowbank, Scott. It's because that's how much snow came down.
Yeah.
I almost needed a shovel, not a broom, to get it off my car, and then navigating that parking lot. But you know what? Kudos to the town of Banff. They were out there. They were clearing it. And when we came in this morning, even though it kept snowing overnight, they kept this place ready and clean for not just us to get in, but our athletes. So big thank you to the town of Banff and their staff for making this facility not just safe on the inside, but safe on the outside too.
Yeah, absolutely. When I got up this morning, got in my car, I wondered how the roads would be, and they were clear. So.
Well, there's a bit of a dance move there.
Yeah.
Man down, but man avoided the rock.
Yeah, and as his teammates
bit
will
ice with control,
appreciate,
right?
he avoided his rock, but glad to see that he popped right up and he's okay.
That's right, yeah. So over on sheet 2, Libis forced to hit, throw a hit against 2, and so he takes his 1. We're 6 ends in, and it's all tied still. We'll be playing 7, and Jakes will have the hammer.
I like to see over on sheet 2, Team Jakes and Team Libis, after each end, they're kind of pulling the team together for a 60 or 90 second huddle to make sure they're all on the same page for the next end.
Yes.
What are we trying
Yep.
to accomplish?
Yes. Gotta
What's our
go.
game plan? And I think that's really going to help them out as they continue to play these higher level events.
Yeah, you do have to have a plan, that's for sure. You know, a lot of these teams have thought it out ahead of time in their strategy
What's he gonna do wide
sessions.
there?
What do we do if we're
Sweet.
tied after 7, tied after 6? You know, if we have hammer, don't have hammer. And they have predetermined ways
Try to
to
double,
address
yeah.
it. Obviously, in the game for the game, you'll make decisions based on a number of other
Yeah, if we aren't
factors.
getting to,
But
there's really no
certainly strategy ahead and going in is something that's very important. And these teams have it thought out and know what they want to do.
Yeah. And the game. Oh, there.
It's just off.
Yeah, looks like it is tied again, as you mentioned. So, battle on 2 and a battle on 3 here as these teams fight to stay alive in the ATB Banff Curling Slam.
Slam. That's right.
Hard.
That's right.
Hard.
You're on board. I love it. This is over
Well,
curling
this
now.
is,
It's
but he
gonna
might
hit
get the back one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If he noses that back one,
It's
still Appelman's gonna have to deal with
I think I
it.
just got it going. Well, I know I got it going.
Not the result he wanted. Doesn't force Appelman into hitting and rolling out. And, you know, the blank may be gone now, but we'll see. Appelman's gonna have to roll to a pretty good spot to not leave a double in blank for Hodgson.
yeah. The key here, he's in the back of the house. He just wants to make sure he hits as much of it as he can. But there's really nothing in front of it on either side,
Control
and
8.
other than just the visual. This is just a straight come down,
Get some
hit
movement here.
more than 3/4 on either side, and you should be good.
Yeah, I think as long as he doesn't roll directly under the shot rock, we'll see Hodgson probably hit for one. But if he rolls directly under, it'll be kind of a 2-foot double and roll out. But,
Yep. 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 Gotta go, Kev. All the way. All the
Whoa,
way.
whoa.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's coming in nice.
yeah, it's
There
gonna
we
roll
go,
away a little
and
bit,
it
yeah.
could roll away
Yeah.
too.
Stuck around.
Save it, Kev.
It'd be really high risk for Hodgson
Yeah.
to take
All
on
right,
this,
just 10 this time.
this double, so I think he's probably just going to...
Curl good.
It would end the game.
Yeah.
No need to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
down one, they've shown that they can steal against this team, so
All right,
might as
just
well
10 guys.
score it and
Yeah.
go all in on the next.
And I'm sure he wants a second crack at this this
We still
out-turn.
want- why not
He
steal
said
it?
after the last one that he got it going, so I'm sure he'll make the correction. Just knows this, and off we go to 8. And thrilling finish.
Clean. Yep. Yep.
This
Clean.
one looks
Whoa,
looks on a much
clean.
better line. Starting to
Clean.
curl
Clean,
in.
you're good.
A
Clean.
little
Looks like
more
he's gonna
weight.
get right up to the nose here for one.
Perfect
Yeah.
throw.
Great
Great
shot.
job by Andrew. So they'll be down one. It's 4-3 for Appelman. He does retain hammer, but like we said throughout this game, that may not be an advantage here. Only a couple times has a skip been able to score when they've had hammer. So certainly an opportunity still, down one. And we will move to the 8th end, and we'll see how they go to set this up. I imagine we'll get a number of center line guards, and at some point we'll get a lot of action.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We're going to see Hodgson throw a lot of rocks up front. You know, playing the 8th down one without, it really doesn't matter if you give up 6 or 7.
No.
So I think he's going to ignore a lot of rocks that come into the house. And Appelman's just got to make sure he doesn't let it get too clogged up. And you know, at worst, he wants to have a draw to the 4-foot to win this game.
Yeah. You say that really right. If you're in the 7th or 6th or 5th, you got to be worried about giving up the big number. But right now, he's thinking of one thing: I need 1.
Yeah.
2
Hi.
would be great. If I give up 9, who cares?
Yep.
Well, you can't give up 9, so you better care. But
Yeah.
If you're high,
Right.
leave it high. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Took a long time.
What they're going to try to do here is go with one really high guard and then probably one tight guard around that.
that's right.
That one might be, that's pretty good. It might be a foot deeper than they would have liked for that high guard, but it's going to work out well. They can still come around that, especially with the swing we're seeing on the ends.
I'd say put that on the Qualico mixed doubles logo. Qualico, of course, the sponsor of a mixed doubles event, and a great partner, and really appreciate all they've done for both Banff and Canmore in terms of supporting that event at around New Year's time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And
Whoa.
we've had some two
Whoa.
two really deserving champions in the first 2 years of the event.
No,
Corey
sorry.
Dropkin and Sarah Anderson in the first year, and last year was John Morris and Rachel Homan.
That's right.
let's go on.
Caitlin Laws wasn't available
go on,
to John last year, and so he had to find an alternate. And well, he found Rachel Holman, so and they went
Could
on
find
to win.
worse out there.
Yeah, so won an Olympic gold with Caitlin and the Qualico mixed doubles with Rachel. I think it's Caitlin and Rachel that make those teams happen, having
I
watched
think
it.
so, yeah.
Others might think
Yeah,
the
it's
continuity
tight,
of
but-
John, but anyways, regardless to say,
Tuck
he's
it
been a
in
great
underneath.
ambassador for that sport, the mixed doubles, and certainly a lot of these
Yeah.
top athletes have embraced and supported too. And it's another way to get into the Olympics if the force team doesn't make it. So,
Yeah.
and again, our event this year, the winner will get a chance to earn a spot into the Olympic trials in
That's right.
later on, so it's really exciting for that team
Yeah.
to get that automatic berth. And again, you avoid all those play downs to get into that. You have a chance to go straight in. So something worth playing for.
It's not.
Hold the state.
Halfway.
Line's good. Three. Gotta be.
So Appelman tried to come in and came a little bit deep. He's biting the back four,
Tight.
which is exactly what Hodgson wanted.
Tight.
So Hodgson's trying to throw that tight
Mm.
guard.
Just tight.
Top 12.
Doesn't want this
Just
to slow
tight.
down.
Oh.
And it
No.
has.
Alright.
I think Appelman's going to walk up there pretty quickly, try and get rid of that one
Ward,
that's
good
in the
job.
house.
Ward, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're little things, but that's just a little layer that makes it a little
Yeah.
harder. You know, you got to take advantage of the 5-guard rule, and you got to have your tolerances, as we say, you know, to not go in.
Especially when Team Appelman and Kevin Tim slipped a little bit deep on that come around and gave you another opportunity with their rock back four.
Like,
so,
Control him.
at some point, Appelman is going to try to run something in and kill that rock in the back. But for now, he'll be happy just to get rid of this one. Top 12 roll away, completely out of the rings. And
Don't want anything in there.
he's done just that.
Absolute.
That helps a little bit. Yeah, tight. Doesn't matter if you're in now. I don't even mind a top 12. This honestly might be a little bit
Seventh
better,
end
get a
on
little more
sheet 2
separation.
seems to be shaping up to be an exciting end. They're just halfway through the end, and I think every rock is in play.
It is. Well, again, 5-rock rules.
Top 12.
Nothing else you can do, really,
Tight.
Just top 12.
if shots are made.
Yeah. So here,
Where
Hey
are you?
there.
They were
I
okay
think-
with top
Make it good,
12. I
make
mean,
it top
short
12.
was good. The
Yeah.
thing they're respecting,
Yeah,
of
we can
course,
get a
is they
bit.
don't want to leave that double
Yep.
peel. So
yeah.
top
Yep.
12 guard is still a good guard.
Yeah.
Since you've got quite a bit of room to get back to the
They're
button.
coming in. They're going to make this the good one. Looks like it's coming back. Freeze the back one.
That's what I mean, top way.
Now Appelman is going to start peeling guards, I think.
Well, he's contemplating. He's thinking
Oh.
maybe of coming right around.
Maybe because that guard is so high and it's the only guard, he's not too concerned about it.
Yeah.
I think in most situations, Skip would
Peel,
walk
peel,
up
peel,
and
he
peel
goes
that
here.
guard.
Right.
You can hear
he
his
gets you
reasoning as to
blasted.
why.
Talk, wait. Keep it frozen.
Okay. I think if you, if you're Team Hodgson and you're thinking about what you want Appelman to do, you want him to come in and play on those back
Oh,
ones and leave your
absolutely.
guards. So I think Appelman's thought better of that first.
Well, sometimes you get excited about it in the house, and you just need the
Nope.
reason. It's 3-1 down the other end. So Skip, you know, always makes that last call, but you know that was a dangerous rock. Really, from now on in, if there's no guard, Appelman has to feel pretty good about his chances.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
only those guards up top, and as you can see, Hodgson's going to replace it. So if
How's it going?
Appelman doesn't want it, Hodgson knows he needs it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you could hear Ted thinking
Halfway.
multiple shots ahead there as he was going through that process. He was saying, we peel the guard, he throws it up, peel, and on Hodgson's last
Halfway.
one, he comes in, bites the top four, and then makes it a pretty tough shot for Ted. But
Yeah.
but I think it would be a lot worse if he left those guards up there.
I mean, again, you've got that 1-point lead. You've got that last rock.
Yeah.
So what you really want to make sure you do is just leave yourself a chance
Halfway.
to score, and that's going to be a lot easier if
Top
you
12.
don't have
Tight. Halfway.
Halfway.
rocks out front.
Halfway.
What happened? Make it curl. Curl. Needs a curl. Okay. Whoa.
There's
Yeah.
that center guard.
Nice throw.
There we go, and they actually guarded the right side too.
Yeah, and it's tighter.
Oh, is that what you're
so,
laughing
so
about?
more useful if they ever do get a mistake out of Appelman to come around that.
Right, we're going to peel that again. No hesitation this time.
No.
No further discussion. Just
Team's all on the same page now. They're all prepared to throw 3 or 4 more peels.
Shot.
Try to simplify that last shot for Ted to
there we
draw
go.
for the win.
Shot. Never off.
And no hesitation from Andrew Hodgson.
Hurts my
Just
knees
walk
just
up
watching
there
him
and
stop the rock. Oh my God.
throw that guard right back.
Halfway.
Yeah.
So you can see on the feed, the people behind the glass here, those are all the volunteers for this event here. So a lot of local hands on deck
the
here
same
from
still
the
here.
Banff Canmore Curling Club. So really appreciate everyone that's out to volunteer and help make this event a success.
Yeah, we've got some coaches here too, and they're out here tracking the scores and tracking the rocks and giving feedback after the game. We have no timeouts in our event here.
Halfway tight.
As much for
Tyler,
pace of
tight.
play timing as anything else, but
Tyler, go.
Okay. We'll
So he's gonna get that center line guard back. It's not super important
Nice
that
throw.
it guards
Nice
that
guard.
yellow right now.
good judge, guys.
As long as it's the right depth and close to the center line, Appelman is gonna peel it.
Couldn't take it around.
And he's going to try and run it onto the yellow.
Throw
and
the out
actually
turn,
kill
cross it.
everything. And if he's able to
Sure.
make that, then he is in really good shape.
I don't mind the end too. Yeah, let's play the. Throw the out.
well, by out, you throw the out. It doesn't mean throw it out. It means throw the out turn, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, so try and cross the face here. Drive the yellow into the yellow. And roll
Yep.
the shooter away as far as he
Hard.
can. And with the type of weight he's
Gotta
throwing,
go.
it should go a long ways. Looks like it's going to over curl, and he might just get the peel. Yeah. There
Parking
it
lot's
goes.
what we call that. Or if you're from the province of Okotoks, we learned yesterday, it's Longview. I guess that's a bit of a way away from there. So if you throw it to Longview, you're giving it the heater.
Yeah.
Think he comes around now, or do you think he peels again?
Of course, we learned about board weight peel too.
Board weight peel.
I think you're still throwing one more.
I agree
Same
with
thing.
the front end here. I think you're prepared if you're Hodgson to probably throw the center line guard all the way up to your last shot, and then have the options. But if you do something different too early, it's going to give Appelman a chance to make a double or clean up the rocks that are in play.
That's right.
A little more, a little more.
Tight. Okay, line's really good.
Well, I like the line. They're looking for center line guard.
Yeah, weight
Okay,
looks
hold it,
close.
never. Line's really good. Just clean, Blake. Yeah, you got it, Blake. Just clean.
All right. Well, you know what? There we go. Another guard. Like these
Yeah.
have been great shots by Team Hodgson
spot.
to put these in
Good
the
job,
right
guys.
spots. And of course, Appelman's peeling's great too. So
Let's see what he's going to try to do here. It's a little bit different angle, so to run it into the rocks in the house, he's going to risk leaving his
Probably still
shooter out
try
there.
it.
Yeah, so you might have to play it
I don't know.
the other way,
Yeah, just
or just straight peel.
We just
well, either way, we're going to see Longview. Here it comes.
drops.
Looks
Stroke.
pretty good. They're just cleaning.
Straight peel.
Yeah. Straight peel.
And we say that as if it's automatic. You know, you've got to release that clean.
Yeah.
A little bit of spin and it stays straight. But if you ever set that a little bit, then it's
A little
never
bit
coming
overcurl,
back.
yeah.
So
Just outside
It
the
is.
baseball.
It is a tough shot. These guys make it look easy.
Yeah.
They make it pretty routinely, but you know, but I can tell you from most club curlers, even really good club curlers, it's
Top, full 12.
a shot they wish they were more consistent at.
mhm.
'Cause I really don't care if he hits and stays in the rings. If he does, that might give me a chance to come around him. I'm just trying to think of like what's the hardest.
So
what's the
well,
best
I
way
missed
to
the call,
hit
but I
the
believe
hard-
he's
hit
probably
the hard
throwing
shot?
that center guard back here with his first one.
I think he needs to. His
Yeah.
strategy is to keep that, and on his last one, he freeze down. But
Yeah.
you know, and then it'll be up to Appelman to decide: does he want to try and come down and make it harder, or does he just rip it? And
Yeah, it will be an interesting decision if Hodgson's sitting
well
two
then.
after
Well
his
then.
next one, because Appelman
Well then.
he'll be drawing against the game if he throws the draw, or he could throw the hit and in likelihood maybe go extra end. So we'll see how this these next couple
Hey, where are you?
of shots shake out.
Yep, yep, yep.
It's coming
Yep.
a little deeper
Freeze
than
it, yep.
before, so it
Hard.
looks like they're going to make this
Hard.
move now. They're going to
Hard.
go into the top. They're going to freeze the back one right on.
Wow, that's a
welded on
great,
there.
Great throw.
Easy to get rid of the middle one, but that one he just threw, it's going to be pretty difficult to get out of there.
Right?
Even
Hammer it and get the 7 squirting a little bit.
I would almost think a
you probably get
nose
them
hit
both to here.
right
just
now.
try to
Kill
stay on
those
nose.
back two and stay right on top of the yellow.
But if he does
nose,
that,
I don't even know
if he
if he
does
shot
that,
it.
he's almost guaranteeing
No,
that
he didn't nose it. I
he
think
can't
he
give up
shot
more
his
than
own.
one,
Could
right?
be on
Whereas
this
if
side,
that was
yeah.
a guard up there, there was a chance
Yeah,
on the
which
last
is
of
good.
them too. But
He
right
can hit
now,
Just
I
inside
think you're right.
Yeah.
He knows that, and
with control.
Yeah, and then I think you're in.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do you want
You're
to,
in a pretty good
doesn't
spot.
really matter to kill this, is it?
No, it's just you guys got to sit in the corner, right?
Right.
And he hammers, and then he opens everything for us after.
So
Or you just
s-
fucking
you
throw
can hear them
throw
talking
it
about
hard,
another
hit
option,
quarter.
not even throwing a
This
hit,
is done,
just
and then we
welding
squirt
one
it
on
there.
the corner, and then
you guys
Hodgson,
shot 4, and
if
then we
Appelman
drop
shot
it.
rock
Try
after
it
that, we'll have to
while you're
open
gonna
it
hit
up
something.
for them.
Yeah.
It's another
I don't
option.
mind that.
This is just going
Hammering it.
here. It's probably the shot. 4 foot. You just hit it hard, get rid of this one, and squirt this here. Well, it's gonna go to here at least.
I think it's going to go.
Well,
No, I think you just.
Ye-
I think if you're playing nose, you play something quieter. Try to stick it on there.
you think throw it hard on the right on the nose, and maybe it'll. Well, what I'm worried about is we're on him here, and he's shot. I guess so what? He throws a guard, we just run it or something. Yeah, if
It's
I'm,
close.
if I'm on the nose, he's probably gonna be shot. I wonder if I could throw peel hit on the nose and get rid of the 3. Be close, eh? Yeah.
I think that would be my preference, Steve, is to throw it pretty hard. Try to nose maybe a millimeter inside and stay right there. But certainly
you
a
get
few
rid of the
different
three,
ways
it's
to
good.
play almost every shot
Yeah.
in curling, which is what makes it so
So trying to
enjoyable.
hammer it on the
So
nose?
hammer on the nose and squirt the 3 out.
Okay.
well, I think we came to that conclusion a bit ago. But it's always great to hear them talk about it, and they really have to be comfortable because
Yeah.
a lot on the line here.
we don't
Someone's
just
going
blast
home and
everything,
someone's
or-
moving on, and you don't want to take for granted any shot. So,
Yeah.
but I think that's the right call,
Doesn't
right on the
goes to
nose,
side.
and see what Hodgson responds with.
I think you can see the trust too between Ted and his brother Tom there. Tom came down and kind of suggested that as an option, and
I think
then
just
Ted
hammer
kind
it
of
on
got
the
on
nose
board
with
because originally
peel.
he was looking at something a little bit quieter draw. So it's always nice to see a skip that
wondering if I
listens to
throw
the
it out there.
feedback of his team and incorporates everyone in the decision making.
Well,
Yeah.
everything does, but
Here we go.
Intern
Whoa,
peel,
whoa,
but
whoa,
it
whoa.
looks like he set that back.
Yep.
Yep,
So
yep,
we're gonna,
yep,
we're gonna lose
yep,
the back
yep,
field.
yep, yep,
We'll
yep,
see if we
yep,
can
yep,
lose
yep.
the shot rock.
He'll lose all
It's
but
a
one.
really good result, though. He got rid of everything. He lost his shooter and spit the shot rock out into the 8-foot. So, so he's either going to have a full draw to the 4-foot or a nose hit for the win.
Same thing. 2 feet less.
Yeah, you know what?
See you last night.
It worked out for Appelman to clear that away, but also a good result for Hodgson. He's got that catcher now, which really isn't it's in a good spot being out on the edge of the 80. If you can
Top
put
8.
this top 8 where it can't be nose to
Top 8.
sit shot, then it's either a tough hit on the wings and roll, or you're right, it's a straight
Yep.
draw. And the straight draw now isn't just to give up a tie. The straight draw is to give up the win. So
Yeah.
certainly, lots of excitement right down
Yeah.
to the wire here. But first of all, Andrew's got to make this shot. He's got to make it precisely.
Yeah, just full top 8 is what he'll be looking for near the center line.
Top 8. Top 8.
Sounds like it's going to be
Top
close.
eight,
Whoa,
guys.
man. Whoa, right off.
The sweepers are always pretty accurate with their first call. They call top 8.
Whoa, whoa.
Top 8.
Just top 8.
Top 8.
Whoa, just let it sit. Whoa, whoa. See you.
Top
whoa,
8.
Whoa, whoa. That's good. That's good.
Top 8.
Look at that. That is an
Yes.
absolute perfect
Yeah,
shot.
so Ted is going to throw the hit on the shot rock. He'll have to nose or roll inside a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the reason for this is because the draw would be against the loss. So,
Yeah.
worst case, he gets the set of play, rolls out, we're going to a 9th end.
Yeah. No, that just shows you very smart play.
just control.
Because he knows that if he doesn't make it, he has another
Should,
life. Whereas
should
if he
finish the first
draws,
bit at the end there.
he's risking it. So
I would
Yeah,
think.
and that's a result of how good Andrew's last shot was there. It's just in the 8-foot, but that's exactly where it needed to be.
100%.
Any deeper, and it would have been an easier hit and stay for Ted.
So just needs to catch it anywhere on the inside. Well, anywhere. Just needs to catch it. It
Stick
can't be-
around.
Yeah, if he gets it out,
Yeah, looks like he has gotten it out.
will it come back?
No,
No,
there-
he's got his weight down though, but it seems to be floating.
Go, Kev. Go, 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 go.
Well, looks like we might be
And
going.
we are going to an extra end here. And the trend continues that the hammer has not been helpful for these teams out here. I think that is the 5th stolen end out of 8.
That's right. That's right. But you know what? I mean, let's give great credit to Andrew there. I mean, that's not an easy draw to throw it all the way down and leave it that high. And great judge by the sweepers. So we played 8 ends here, Appelman against Hodgson, and we have solved nothing. So fortunately, we've got 4 hours between the draws, so we have time for this extra end. And we'll see what happens here, but I imagine we'll get a lot of rocks up front for Hodgson. And I imagine Appelman's going to hope to keep it pretty clean.
Yeah, I think we're going to see something similar to the 8th end there. Exactly what you said there. Hodgson will be very aggressive. Appelman will try to give himself an option. But this time he's going to have to score.
Yeah.
That option to hit and roll out is no longer
This
there.
one,
So
this one
Tight?
seems a little tight.
A little bit tight, but I think it's going to end up high.
All right, leave it high then.
You're high now.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
You'd have to think, in a way, the momentum is swung. I mean,
Yeah.
Appelman's
We'll
controlled it all game,
Sit
but
it up.
no,
Sit.
Hodgson right now has to be feeling really good, like he's been given a second life.
yeah, I completely agree. From a 4th end on, even just the body language
Lovely.
of Team Hodgson has turned around, and you can tell they're feeling good about themselves, and they're confident that they can get another steal on the board.
If you look at that scoreboard, it looks like a completed Sudoku.
Looks good.
Also coming down to final
think he's there
rocks
alone.
in the 8th end on sheet 2. Close game and still lots of rocks in play.
Oh, no.
Or are they in the 7th?
They're in the 7th.
Yeah, that is.
Yes, that game's a little slow.
Yeah.
There's all I can say.
Good, Kev.
This side of center, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to throw another guard here. Last and the 2nd guard ended up slipping into the rings. So he's really going to want to make sure that this stays short of the rings.
Top 12.
Tight.
Well, that looks
Not
like
in.
that answers that question.
Top
Not
12.
in.
I don't want it in, but it's top 12.
Yeah.
Let her pick. Can't be in.
Let it pick. There
Top
you
12.
go. Not a brush to it.
Top 8.
Not in.
We're hoping some fluff
Not
might have
in.
dropped down.
Andrew Hodgson keeps saying not in. I think he's
It's coming.
hopeful more than
Sit.
anything.
It's trying.
good.
It is
Nice start.
trying. Look,
Oh,
at,
look at that. See,
Who said
If
hope
you-
isn't a
Yeah.
strategy? Who said it?
if you ask,
Just to the half.
sometimes it happens. So
Yeah, well, looks like he's
And
playing
we
the
are
tick.
going to get that tick shot that we've talked about, yeah.
We're going to get a
Been a little
goal.
heavy on like your hacking board, so.
And with this ice, I'm guessing he is throwing into the rock the same way that Lisa Weigel throws it. And most of the teams
Solid hack.
these days.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
This
Oh, looks like
he
he
might
might-
play it on the back one, though. Looks
Yeah.
like it didn't curl as much as
Hard.
I thought. I don't know if that was a weight or... It's going to sit down. How to play that is going to come back.
I can kind of see the
And that's a mistake that Hodgson was really hoping for. He's now got 2 center guards slightly overlapped. He's got an opportunity probably coming in on the outturn side.
Yeah.
Come around.
Yeah.
And short is fine in this spot. Anything up
I don't
front.
mind just going this way again.
I mean, the good thing
This
for
way? Okay,
Appelman
let's
is
go.
Easier.
he's got that extra rock in the back,
Mhm.
which
Kinda
means
worked for us
depending how
instead of
things
going the exact same
play
path
out,
every shot.
they just need to stick around on his last. But so many rocks to come. It's just an observation, not a result yet.
Yeah.
Certainly some nervous tension out there. Blake needs to make a bullet here. Needs to get this around.
Back 8.
Okay, top 4. Line's getting pretty tight.
Back 8.
Oh,
Back
Top
12.
4.
It's obviously got some lots. It's not curling like the others, so we know it's heavy. It's got to sit though. Definitely want this to be in the rings.
13-6.
Starting to
sticking
come
around?
down. Will it stick?
I don't think so.
Of course, you
it's still
can't
moving
sweep it
pretty good.
out. It will sit. It won't sit for shot, but at least it's in play.
And now Appelman is
got
going
that
to
one,
race
right?
up to call the double peel. And we are seeing a pretty similar end to the last end.
Yep.
Roll it, roll it, roll it.
Oh, just misses that. Oh, just misses that too.
A really good throw.
Well, what you see is what you get. 4 singles
No,
to
hit
4
another guard.
singles, and
Yeah, Hodgson's going to try and get the double guards back up there. He knows that rock in the top 12 is probably not going to be the winning point for him, so
Do you like the other side?
couple center guards and then come around when the time is right.
treated to a great game here. It's not over yet. Just a reminder to our viewers watching now that we will have at 12 o'clock on sheet 3 our feature game of Kennedy. That's Glenn Kennedy, the brother of Mark Kennedy, against Brendan Botcher,
Aye.
3-time silver medalist at the Brining.
Tight.
They have been one of the best
Halfway.
teams in the country for the last 5 or 6 years.
Can't touch it. It's wow.
I like it.
It's
I
a
think
treat
it's
to have
gonna
them here in
end up in a
Banff,
good spot.
along with all these other great teams.
Right.
An easy double
Absolutely.
peel.
Yeah, but the jam's always in play now.
Yeah, that's true.
16-8.
Double peel attempt coming up again here for Appelman. So we're going to see this for a few rocks. We're going to see Hodgson continue to throw guards for a few rocks, and we'll see who blinks.
I saw you blink.
Close.
And
Nice.
he's made it this time. A terrific shot. So now Hodgson's going to have to continue to throw guards, but he's going to have to deal with one the rest of the game, I think.
Well, it's kind of setting up like last end, except the fact that Appelman this time has the kicker and
Yeah.
not Hodgson. But some of these peels could pick one of those out and
Could.
change that around. So
Now that it's going to be one,
Yeah, but where do you want to put it?
one guard, though,
This side of center or this side
Appelman
of
will be
center?
able to throw the intern
This side of
peel
center, eh?
and hopefully avoid those two at the back.
yeah, that's why I think he's trying to cheat that over a little bit, make it a.
Yeah. I still don't think you're going to see Appelman bite, though. I think
I would agree. He's definitely the driver's seat, but lots of rocks to come and misses can happen. Even half shots can cause problems. So
Okay,
But-
you got room. You got a lot of room.
5 executed
Top 12's
shots.
fine.
It's hard to do, and you only got 4 rocks left. But
You got a lot of room. Yeah, Blake, go hard.
it's really good too to see here is that the curl and the timing is
over,
holding
get it
up,
over
and
Mm-hmm.
it's just
That'll work.
real reflection on the ice crew here. Brian Armstrong, Jim Oliver, and Marty Villamere, the work they've done out there to make sure that this ice is perfect for these players for all 8 ends, and in this case, an extra 9th end.
so intern peel. He's going to want to ensure he doesn't hit this too thin and into his blue one. That is made well. And Hodgson's going to have to replace it.
Yeah.
He might move this around a bit, just try and get a slightly different path, but he's going to need a mistake.
You know, knowing Appelman's thrown a bunch of hits, you know, it wouldn't be wrong at some point to try to get him to make sure he has to throw that draw. You know, it could be freezing down to the back blue one, or he could be hitting it out. Not this early in the end, but as we
Line's
get down
better.
to Skips Rocks,
Line's
because
better.
again, not that
Halfway-
Appelman isn't very
halfway tight,
capable of
halfway
throwing
tight.
that draw, but when you haven't thrown it for a while, and
Halfway's
it could be
fine,
down a
gotta be at
different
least
path
halfway.
out there,
Yep.
it does
Gotta be at least
you know,
halfway.
does make it maybe a bit harder.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to see that
Get her over.
at the very least on Andrew's last one. He'll bring that into the rings. Like you said, maybe a freeze on the back one. He might leave it kind of in between the yellow and the blue, but above the tee line.
Yeah.
But he is going to try to tease Ted into a draw of the 4-foot, I think.
Well, I tell you, when Conley lets go of this, it will probably get to that rock in a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's a very high rock, right on top of the Qualico mixed doubles logo.
And he's got that.
No risk of a jam there,
Yeah. So
other than on a different sheet.
yeah. But those are the tougher peels, those high ones,
Comes around.
because
Have
to your point, they
bumper
don't
weight
really
is
have
not
that
coming around.
long
He's
to actually
feeling
catch
all the-
any curl. So if you
Right, so
set those ones back at
freeze.
all, those are the ones where you're
I'll hit
likely
the
to get
freeze.
a miss. But
That's right.
so now they're thinking about the play into the house.
Yeah, sure.
It's Andrew Hodgson's first rock. And it looks like they are.
I don't know
make
how
that
to get
play.
to that spot. Thinking a hair less.
It's your corner guard, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, go back to where you were. I like that. Yeah, you're right.
So here he is. He's coming in. Not sure how deep. Didn't catch that part of the conversation.
Freeze.
Freeze. There it is. He's
If
gonna
we're light, that's
freeze
fine.
the blue.
There's two good rocks back there.
It'll be interesting to see what Appelman does there.
Yeah.
So like T-line's good. Honestly, like top 12's good.
Yeah, anywhere on that
Pretty good T-lines
line
here, just gotta be in the range.
is a pretty good
Ideally a freeze.
result.
So let's be up front, in the rings, top 12.
Yeah.
Now, last end, we wanted it just full 8, and that's what he did.
That is
no
what it-
reason
yeah.
to believe he won't do it again this time. He's certainly
Well-
found a rhythm here, but this one seems
Stay close. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they like the
Yep.
line. Looks like it's starting to curl over.
Yep. Hard.
So as long as
Hard.
it's close, this is going to be what he was
Hard.
asking
You gotta be
for.
here. Hard.
oh, it's there. Oh, they're bringing it right
Hard.
back.
All the way.
back
Hard.
to
Hard. Hard. Right up. Right up.
Right up to it.
I
Still a
like,
really
I
good
like
throw.
that spot. Yeah, I prefer that spot.
We're on the handle.
He's
Yep.
gonna.
He's going to try to get rid of
Okay.
both yellows and lose his shooter. And then Hodgson will probably be forced to play the exact same shot.
Which is why you throw it now,
Yeah.
because now you know what you have to do, and you know what the curl is. And so.
What's up, bud? No, high side. Yeah, half a rock. We're second shots. Even if we just pick it out of there, right? And then he hits the other one, they just drop.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So
Yep.
they're on off.
Hard.
That's
Hard.
always
Hard.
a
close.
good sign. And, wow, he didn't stuff it, but he actually gave himself some backing.
Wow. That really that turned out
Well, so Hodgson wants to put
Yeah.
that right on top, because then
Other way,
really
yeah,
there's
just
nothing that you're forcing him to draw.
yeah.
Well, he's a chance.
It'll be interesting to see which side he takes.
That's true.
If you're here,
Yeah.
you got to be inside of
We'll
it.
see how though if he makes this, we'll see how Ted's feeling about his draw weight. Because if it's not glued on there perfectly and there's
you're right,
any
you might have to be dead
space, you
frozen.
could see him
Just pick it.
maybe pick it
Yeah, that's
or
pretty good. That's good enough.
kind of
Yeah.
kill all three
Same
of those
like
with
that,
back
yeah.
and win
Yeah.
with the one on the outside. So,
You got it. Same thing.
but I have to guess that Ted will probably draw the 4-foot if this is made.
Well, a bit more. Well, a bit more sleepy. Same weight. Yeah.
So it sounds like they
Ideally,
do
yeah.
want it all the way back there this time.
Nope. No, I liked exactly the line where it was. Just a little bit closer to that blue one, so you can't just peel it out.
There you go. Appelman will have a shot. Likely it'll be a full 8 shot. Let's see what Andrew can do to force here. He's thrown a lot of really
They're
good
more-
Hey,
shots
clean,
coming
man.
into the end of this
Clean.
game, and just needs one
her
more
broom down.
here, and then we'll let Appelman respond.
Blake tight. Blake tight.
It's
Yep.
got a really good line if weight's right. He's
Careful,
gonna come
careful.
right down, but don't want to oversweep this. Do need to get on top of that one. Don't want to bounce off it.
And they have bounced off, so it's going to be a nose hit.
I just needs to
for
make
the
contact.
wind.
Really.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much risk.
Better
Especially,
listen to Nathan.
Well, I don't know.
especially
whether-
whoever's third shot, though, right? Like if their third shot, then it's
Well,
a
you know,
little bit
the
easier.
the
but
question becomes, I mean, can it round the horn?
Get
on
it
you
nose,
here,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it certainly could.
you know, you hit that 3/4 and you bounce up
Yeah.
off that blue,
What's that?
and you just need to touch
Yeah,
that other
same.
one, and
Yeah.
you could bring that back in play. So you don't want to get careless here. You really want to hit nose.
Yeah.
You don't want to overcook this. All right, last rock's
Yep.
underway.
Yep.
Gonna sweep it right out of his hand.
Yep.
Doesn't sound like a lot of panic, though.
Right to it, Kev.
No.
And
we
there
go.
you have
What's
it.
that?
That'll be 2 blue, but more importantly, at
Game,
least
guys.
1.
Game,
That'll put them in. But what a great game we were just treated to. What a phenomenal start by Appelman
Just
and,
like
and
counter
finish
act
by
it.
Hodgson,
Put our hands over
and a
it.
great last extra end. So, well, Scott, I mean, I guess you'll get maybe a little bit of a rest, but we'll probably go over now to sheet number 2. And even though they're not in an extra end, they're still not done yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to bring you the final shots of this. There's 4 shots for each team remaining. The situation yellow, which is Team Jakes, they are up by 1, but Team Libis does have the last rock. Of course, these players are not mic'd up, so we don't have much for them to tell you, so we will do a lot of talking.
Yeah. So I know your son Desmond was Alberta Junior Champion there. Are any of the players on his current team from that team?
Well, Libis, the skip on Team Libis, he was the second on the team in 2019 that won. And last year, actually, the Team Jakes team, they won the provincials. So Desmond was able to go back-to-back. 1 year's skip, 1 year's third. And Jakes, Desmond and Gabe, they were all selected to be on the Canadian team to go to Worlds this year. Whether or not the World Juniors will happen is not yet decided.
Yeah.
It's to be played in China in the new year, so they've yet to make a decision. But those athletes have been selected, and we'll get a chance to do that should that event go forward. So great opportunity, and hopefully one they won't have to miss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic and terrific that that they're out there playing against each other now. You know, they teamed up. They've gone to separate teams. Maybe they'll team up again down the road, but
You just
that's how
never know.
curling. You know, we see a lot of moving parts.
And of course, Riley Helston there is playing third for Jacob. He played third for Jacob back when they were in U18, and they won a U18 provincial championship for Alberta, and went on to play in the Canadians of that. So certainly a lot of that talent out there. Michael Dumont, who's playing second for Team Libis, used to play with Desmond in U18 when they lost in an extra end in the finals. When it was played in Okotoks, which is of course Jacob Libis's home club. So, yep, Michael Hendricks, the lead for Team Libis, was on the U of A team that won the U18 that year, and they went off to St. Andrews, New Brunswick, and they represented Alberta at that U18, and they won silver medal there. So, you know, just a lot of these athletes out there, great athletes. And Gabe Dick, the lead on Team Jakes, he was playing with Hendricks at the time. And with Jakes, and Dustin McCouche, who's this year elected to be an overage junior and play at a Saskatchewan on a junior team. He was, of course, the fourth member of that Team Jakes team that went to the U18s, and he was the third and the fourth member of the team that went to the junior championships in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan in 2019. So, yeah, a lot of these athletes are around.
Yeah,
and,
a lot of
and
young
playing.
talent on that sheet right now.
Yep. And that's why I suspect you're seeing a very tight game here, because they know each other well. They're all accomplished curlers, all able to play predominantly all positions, and have just found themselves where they are in terms of the teams contributing in their own way. And yeah, two great teams. And like every time I watch them play, you hate for one to lose, but one has to. And it's just great that it's a close, tight game.
Yeah. And again, a lot of rocks in play. We've seen this in the last 3 or 4 ends on this sheet.
Yep.
So obviously a lot of scenarios to run through and discuss and think about.
It's also why you see in this that there's, you know, we're going a little bit longer here. Not that we like that. I mean, 2.5 hours starts to get a bit long.
Yeah.
They have almost every end had had lots of rocks in play.
Looks like job done there.
Yeah, I think they would have liked to have stuck it, but at the same point, they got rid of the one that was causing them trouble. There's only 2 rocks left for each of the skip and the. So again, it's really important here for Jakes to get this one buried and in, because you know, only being up 1, the last thing you want to do is give up 2. But for both teams, the house looks good. Obviously, Blues got more opportunity for rocks out front to get in, but they're not really splittable from how far they are out front. So Jake's really wanting to bury this around and put himself in an advantage to at least force the 1 if Libis makes his shot in the end.
So winner of this game is going to have to turn around a little bit quicker than they wanted, just given that they're running a little bit longer here. But it sounds like they'll have some time to get out, have a lunch, and probably walk around town. The winner will be back on at 4 o'clock against Terry Meek.
That's right.
Who actually won in 4 ends. He won about 2.5 hours ago. He was probably done.
Terry's going to have second breakfast his team before this game's over. And you know, we have to make a mention here. We talked about Saxby from Finland helping out. Well, Desmond's grandmother Ann Britt is watching and getting a chance because of this the game finishing on 3 to watch her grandson play a few shots, and that's just wonderful. So hello, Ann Britt, great to see you. And just so you know, your daughter Annette is doing all of this audio work here, so she's doing a great job.
With a smile on her face so far. We'll see if that's still on at the end of the day, but
and I look over at the camera crew, and they are keeping it going here. You know what? We're about to wrap up the day when they just pulled the camera over on 2 and said, not yet. We're not done yet. You can keep going. So thank you to them. It was an early morning, late night, and they're right here, and they're just giving us some great camera angles. And even though we're a Sheet 3 live stream, you wouldn't know it from this. Some great angles and great coverage. So
yeah.
So just set the stage again. We have Team Jakes up 5-4 after 7 ends. Team Libis does have hammer. Jakes is sitting 1 in the house. Libis with 2 to come, and Jakes only 1. We'd let them take it away and tell us what they're talking about, other than the fact that they are not mic'd up.
Yeah.
So it's going to come up to you and I, Scott, to interpret this. But there's that split angle. You can see the front end ready to give some input if they wanted, but you see the back end here trying to line up what they're going to shoot at.
Yeah. So Team Jakes is in there sitting 1. Team Libis has a few options. Come down and freeze. They could try to stick one of those run backs. But it looks like they're going to play a little bit quieter shot and try and freeze or draw in next to that yellow.
Well, of course, they're trying to figure out a way to generate a deuce.
Yep.
Still very much an opportunity in this. And, of course, Jake's still sitting well now. But Libis can make this shot and put the pressure on and hope for a miss from Jakes or get it in a great spot where Jakes will have to make a shot down on top of it.
It's a key shot, though. If it's not where he wants it, Jakes will really be in the driver's seat. Might be able to throw another guard up or a second one in and try to move on to the 4 o'clock draw.
And here we go. Jacob is set. I know his parents had to leave to head home, but I've got to think that Carly is listening, and Mike listening in the car. I hope he's keeping it on the road. Of course, heading back to do ice.
So they're close. They're on it. They're off it. Trying to navigate that port, but also make sure that they end up with shot right there. They're dragging it. done exactly that. Can't see
Yeah.
an overhead, but I have to guess blue is shot there.
Well, that's an interesting call to put a card up.
May not be.
Oh, I think it's shot. They're trying to
Yeah.
block the way in for 2, but the risk, of course, is that they will leave a run back.
Yeah. So it looks like Jakes is happy to play for an extra end here. Which could run up against our 12 o'clock draw. But
Well, the good thing is they're getting the other sheets ready, so it will just take a bit of time to get this sheet 2 ready. But
so in center guard, trying to block off the port that Libis just came through to make sure he can't get another one through there on his last rock.
which will leave, though, a run back, you'd have to think.
Yeah.
Which he's willing to give him, it looks like.
Yeah, the run back does have some risk. He could run it onto his own, but it would be there. Line's close, weight's close. We can hear that. It's a good start. So it's probably going to tick off that guard.
Well, there you go. It's left him the shot. He's got
The run back. He's got a long intern tap on the other side. I think the run back's probably his best option here.
Don't know if there's any way to get a bit of a shot on the what the house looks like, but
So he's just lining up the angle here.
oh, look at that. You know, I'm asking for the impossible, and they throw it. So certainly blue is shot. So,
Yeah.
you know, if they can stick this.
Looks like close to right on the nose, but if he's a little bit high and runs it onto his blue, Team Jakes would move on. But if he can stick it on the yellow, it'll be a Libis win here in the 8th end. So a lot of things could happen here. But he's going to throw it. He's going to take it on.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance he's close on this one. It's a fairly short run back. It's close to nose.
And you got to think the air is going to be tight, because at least if he catches a bit of the yellow, he would roll out. But he doesn't really want to be out of it, because
No.
any catch on that blue and but it's hard to catch it where it'll hit the blue, just because there's that other rock overlapping it up front. But here we go. Chance for the win for Libis if he can stick this back.
They call it on right out of his hand. So to your point.
Oh, looks really close.
Oh,
no.
And he did catch it just a little bit high onto his blue. And Team Jakes will steal the point and the win.
Oh, I tell you, that was really close.
It was.
And you're on and off again. You knew it.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration there from the third. I think he knows he overcalled the sweeping just a bit, but those are so hard to call. You have to be pretty precise. So a tough way for that game to end, but but for Team Jakes, they'll be happy to move on to the 4 o'clock draw and play Terry Meek later today.
Yeah. You know what? You hate to see any of those teams lose. As you can see, there's not much between them. And if you look at last year's results, I think those teams finished tied in the Excel points race. Both of them moving to U25, where Hardy and Sturmey have the Excel point spots. But these two teams, there's almost nothing between them. So that's always going to be a frustration when one wins and one loses. But they'll come off and they'll get over it, and they'll go to the next event. We are early games, and so these are all ones getting ready for what really matters, which is that provincial championship that'll come up in the future, we want to make sure before we let you go here that we say thank you to our sponsors, ATB, who is the chief sponsor of this event, just wonderful contributor, not just to our event, but to the Okotoks event coming up, to curlers in general and curling teams. ATB, thank you for all that you do. Look forward to having you here on Sunday when we give out that trophy. The Banff Curling Club giving up their club and their ice, but also supporting it with the volunteers to make sure that we bring not just a great live stream event, but a great ice for the competitors to play on. The town of Banff, who enabled this, they always have the ability to say no to events or to not allow things happen in their facility, but they trust us. They provided us this opportunity. We're very grateful to Amanda and her team here. Thank you very, very much. And of course, to Curling Alberta. Such great work in the off season to make sure that our sport was seen as a safe one. We had great stuff in place so we could show that we could be safe. And just hats off to Jill and her team. And of course, the two new people that came there, Shannon Kleinbrink and Jason Ginter, who are new, but will provide some great new blood and expertise to that team there. So thank you to all those people. And Scott, I don't want to not say thank you to you. You came all the way up from Cochrane last night. You've been a great commentator, and I can't wait to hear you go as you keep going here today. And we'll get you some other people so you don't get too tired of me here at the beginning. Want to thank Jamie, and we want to thank Thomas Oliver. They've been on the cameras all day and mixing us in and out. Thank you to Annette. That's and Britt, that's your daughter, who's been doing all this IT work here. In Saxby, of course, in Finland. I think he's still up. He's probably getting ready to go to bed. We'll try not to call you after midnight tonight, but thank you for everything you're doing to keep us going in here. And, of course, Fenya, who's helping doing the audio. I want to thank her. And to all the volunteers, Cheryl and Hugh Burton, Dennis Graham, Nick Sardin, who are coming. Just thank you to everybody. Thank you to you, the watchers. It's great to have you here. If you weren't watching, well, then there'd be no point in us bringing this to you. Scott, final word before we sign off.
I think we were treated to a couple of really great games, both of them close. And I'm looking forward to the 12 o'clock draw now. See Brendan Botcher here on the live stream against Team Kennedy, and it's going to be a great day. So thank you, Steve, and looking forward to the next one.
All right. Well, thank you. Remember, 12 o'clock. We'll be on at 11:50, bringing you Botcher against Kennedy. Until then, have a great lunch.